So let's do a check, and see if this is working.
Check.
All right, cool. We had a discussion that we were involved in prior to you guys being, privy, where we were talking about bloody kids today. You know what I mean?
Kids today. So Joe's been all about the blender lately.
I've been blending,
making them protein shakes left and right. And my daughter starts.
That. I think people thought Bobby thought I was talking about blenders.
You mean like a?
Yeah.
You mean like smoothies?
A juice?
I'm like there's something they haven't figured out a better way to do yet.
Juicing. You're juicing potatoes. My daughter starts high school next week and went to orientation.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a big achievement. In our household in Alabama.
Not necessarily that.
In Alabama, it's definitely an achievement.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's my second kid in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
You're doing great in life.
2 down, 1 to go.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
So she's going to high school, and my wife went to the orientation with her and comes back and is telling us that they have a class, set of classes where they teach Blender in high school and some animation and the Adobe suite. And I don't know. I just think that's I'm jealous of it too.
And then
I'm jealous of it too.
It sparked this conversation, and what I was getting ready to say, because you had made a point that I do agree with a caveat. You had said that if you get used to using Photoshop, using something else can be more difficult, and I agree with that to an extent. But I also think that if you have a fundamental understanding of Photoshop and you move on to something else, while it may be difficult to transition, you do have a leg up to the person who has used neither.
Yeah, you have.
Okay.
There's carryover now. Just the
function.
I'll be honest.
Just the concept of layers.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The concept
and
of
brushes.
layers. Once you get layers in your head
and different kinds of brushes,
so
you're pretty set.
Can I be honest? You know what concept I still don't have a concept of? Too many concepts.
Steaks without ketchup?
So no, I've tried it, Chris. I find it to be subpar.
Okay, gotcha.
He doesn't grasp the concept. He knows of the concept, does not grasp the concept.
But only in comparison.
Sugar steaks.
Only in comparison. And I always order French fries and then hope that I don't like the fries to save myself some calories and use the ketchup. But recently at Jabrone's or wherever I went, whatever that place was called. What was that place called?
I think it's Madrone's. Yeah. I'm sure they want to sponsor us.
I realized at the end of it, I had eaten all the ketchup and I hadn't touched a fry, and I was like, "Oh fuck, they're going to be on to me."
You got to scatter about. You got to scatter the fries about like you picked at it.
Yeah,
just throw some.
They're not going to count it, right?
And it was a great steak, so I'm sure they would have taken special offense to it.
But outside of your ketchup habit, what have you recently? What do you still struggle with? I'm sorry, I totally
grasp
masks.
Oh, yeah.
Ironically.
Buddy, there's a pile of them right there.
Bro, you're all about the mask.
Yeah, ironically, I still don't have a firm understanding of masks. Maybe
it's protection.
Maybe one day.
Instead of condoms.
I think I probably just do something similar that takes more steps.
Mobile Armored Strike Command with a K?
With a K. Like they're like Mortal Kombat, but ahead of their time, really.
Oh, shit. Mm-hmm. Mortal Kombat is a ripoff.
Yeah. But like that, but to be fair, that's another thing, right? Like Adobe Photoshop is one of those things. To be fair, it's kind of one of those.
I'm his grandfather.
It's kind of one of those non-Apple things.
Yeah.
That's like,
but it is
that is the pinnacle.
Yes.
Right. But it is, I mean,
when it comes to graphic design shit.
But you say that, but a lot of people learn that on Apple because that's just
right.
They make it specifically
right.
At school. I'm sure they have Apple computers in the computer lab. So,
but it's not like Procreate, which has kind of become its own standard.
No,
and like
the thing is,
it's still like
Photoshop is the grandfather. Everyone has more or less either knocked off or copied their formula and then tweaked it on their own. Yes, but like they came up with all those ideas, and so credit where credit's due
for sure.
But also the fact that they've become industry standards because they were the first, and they've been around for a long time. But other than the fact that most people is industry standard, so everyone knows it or should know it, it's not necessarily head and shoulders above the rest by far. There are plenty of people who professionally work in Procreate or Critter there's many drawing programs or other photo editing programs out there that's not Adobe. It's just that you want to learn it for industry standards, but it depends on how good you are. The industry standards don't really matter anymore.
Well, I mean, for what I use Photoshop for,
because everything can download uploads to a PNG, it's fine.
Do you know? You guys want to guess why I taught myself how to learn to use Photoshop 20 years ago? 15 years ago.
All right, let me work.
Deep fake, old style.
No, it wasn't that.
That existed. I don't know if y'all remember.
Just extrapolating an image.
It took me putting groups of making I don't know what you call it, putting a bunch of different pictures together into one.
Like a collage?
A collage, maybe a bunch of wrestlers together.
Oh, yeah.
And then some words.
So what's funny,
time, place. I mean, it's event flyers.
So I did the same thing
and I tried to make a business of that after the fact, and I think I did too.
I did flyers for clubs that I was promoting, and I would cut this person out and that person out, and and
I had a whole cache of of people I had done the magic wand or whatever, and I'd cut them out.
So with everything, as you may or may not know with technology, I'm like 99% self-taught.
Yep.
I didn't know about the magnetic wand.
Oh no!
So I went in tight zoom and literally traced
pixel by
it
pixel
with a mouse.
Holy shit!
And
I was
all
just
my
paint.
edges aren't perfect, but I would take them, isolate them, and I would take an eraser on an airbrush and soften all the edges in order.
See, that's one of those things we're talking about, like on masks. And by the way, I'm sorry, Nerd Rage listeners, this is a very kind of technical conversation,
little inside baseball.
But pretty much everything you've ever fucked with, like if there's art involved in any sort of graphic, it's an Adobe fucking program was probably involved in some point.
Oh, Adobe,
like
Adobe,
Illustrator or Photoshop. But that's how
Adobe Descendant, at least.
Yeah, that's how I learned how to do it. And I struggle with Illustrator. I don't know why. Just some of the concepts are very foreign. But Photoshop, I went right back into it, and it's obviously different than the version I had.
Right.
And I've messed with it here and there over the years.
Because it's it always uses the same neuro system.
And the great thing about it now,
they add to it and tweak certain things. But if you have the base, you got
and if I can't figure out how to do anything, okay, Google. Photoshop. How do I do this?
YouTube.
It's right there. The 7-step process. So,
but another thing that has moved from a buy to own to subscription service. For the sake of they
can.
For what would that? Well, right, they can, of course,
more or less. But it's nice because it drives these other people like Procreate and other programs you can buy or have for free to thrive, because some of us are either pirates or cheap.
Well, I think you can also make the argument that it pushed them to go subscription.
Yeah,
I think more so the other way. I think that having a $13 program that can kick ass the way that Procreate can forces Photoshop to be put in a space where it's like, well, fuck, you can't spend $13, but you could spend $13 a month and get all this stuff or whatever the fucking price is. I don't know what it is.
Procreate, the only problem is Apple exclusive.
Well, not just Procreate, just
in general. Yeah, but obviously it's a sustainable model because they're successful. I don't know. I don't watch the stocks or whatever, but I'm assuming Adobe is fucking successful. They got they got the market locked down. But I'm just wondering how sustainable it is because of all these other non-subscription service. They could, I don't know how much they have to pay their employees. It's like fucking Madden, right? How much are they adding every year? They put a game out every fucking year and they charge full price, right? I mean, Adobe could suck it out and lower the fucking prices to be reasonable and sell more. Well, because they had industry standard, more people would probably be inclined to just buy the program, but they want to, milk it.
Well, I remember this was 15 years ago when you could buy it, but it was like $400 or $500. But it was good for years. Yeah. Now it's not.
ZBrush is the same way. ZBrush is another sculpting program, 3D sculpting program.
Yeah.
But part of why Blender is thriving right now, I think, is because ZBrush went subscription.
Yeah. Well, it's also funny. I used Adobe Photoshop. I've used it since college. I bought it when I had a school student discount,
right?
And I've just moved it over to every computer I've bought, and only had to buy it one time.
Yeah, I wonder. It'd be interesting what version you're running compared to what's out there now.
I think it's 5.1.
I don't even know what's out now.
But what's funny is they just I just did the recent Apple update.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore with it.
Oh, the Photoshop won't work
anymore?
The
Photoshop won't. I don't know if any of the other sweet stuff will work because I haven't used any of it. But so I was like, fuck, do I buy... Because
How often do you use Photoshop?
So I use it for all my thumbnails and shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can do it in Procreate.
Well, I mean, for which... Yeah, that's...
So not only can you do it in Procreate, but just for anybody else out there, I got Adobe Express... Just for free, does everything
that you need
I needed to do. I have all these layouts and shit for even the verses. You can just take the background away, and so
they've got some cool mobile stuff too. Well, I'll tell you to your point about their business model. I think their business model is focused a lot on learning. I think it's a lot on schools. my daughter was saying she'll get a free subscription while she's enrolled in school. I'm like, well, I wonder how many computers we can put that on while you're in school. Right. But because like, I mean, I'll be honest, the one I pay for now is my oldest's college version or whatever. I mean, it's a student version. Because if you pay for the whole suite, like I'm just going to go get this. It is like $70 a month.
Yeah, I think people don't realize that how much the free stuff can do.
There's a ton of free
stuff. They don't know until they end up buying it when you won't use the majority of the program because you're not making movies.
Right. Like, I mean, for like, if you're, doing some more tech, I mean, Blender's obviously great, but like, can you use Blender to like, if I wanted to render this little stand in there, can you do that kind of shit in Blender too?
You can do anything in Blender.
Okay. Cause in my head, Blender is just like,
and also,
you're starting with a ball of clay and working out from there.
That's the ZBrush, but ZBrush is superior in sculpting because they can handle more polygons.
Right. Because there's a program, crap.
Blender's not the only one. There's there's free sculpting programs.
There's a program. What's it called? Fusion 360. Like if you're going to do technical shit, like you need to put threads of a bolt in the they have a free. Well, that's actually free too, to an extent. It's not completely unlocked, but there's a simpler version. I want to say it's Tinkercad, and it's simple. Like if you wanted to, make a cylinder with a box on top, some of the dumb shit I need to make for dioramas, it's great.
I can do that in Blender in a minute nowadays.
Okay,
because if it's simple, but again, there's like 3D Max, there's Maya, there's all kinds of different free programs.
Yeah.
For it depends on what you grew up with and what you're raised with. It's your choice.
I have a separate question, Joe, but people here might find it of benefit for their collection displays. The people. Did you say that you bought custom? I can't find the word I'm looking for, Joseph.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
I'm going to skip the word.
Yeah.
In hopes that you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, here we go.
Did you say that you recently bought a custom spec'd piece of acrylic?
Yes.
And
I sent
the blocks,
Pinkerton the link for that on eBay. Yeah.
Okay, I might need the link. I might need the link as well.
They come in different sizes, but the thing is,
can you just get a straight sheet like I want it to be?
What do you want a sheet of acrylic?
Yeah.
How thick?
I mean, I'm your guy for that. I've got the connections for acrylic.
If you're looking for a block, is it like? I mean, I buy it from this guy because you get like 3-inch blocks.
Tell us what you're trying to do.
So two things. I want to replace the Snoke's throne room piece that the floor wax has pushed up, or floor polish has pushed up, and then I want to put it down on my display base. I mean, my review base, like a square.
So I have in my possession 2 pieces of floating around. I'm not using plexiglass right now, so I can give.
Yeah, and
the question is how you're going to cut it.
Well, so that's the because plexiglass is not because I need it. Is it like a certain color?
It's
Are you looking to replace that black thing?
See, I need a black one.
Hey, you can paint it.
We got it.
You can paint plexi.
Oh, that's true.
Also,
I mean, if you wanted to paint a stick, you just sand it a little bit.
Also,
you'll be good.
We can. I've got other materials we could also use.
Okay.
Yes.
PVC sheet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just something. I need
composite
to.
material.
We just got to get in the lab, bro. Sintra, fuck you, by the way, for introducing me to that.
You're welcome.
Also, thank you because I made a fortune using that stuff. Most of the floors we use. I cut circles. That's what you get.
Yeah, you cut circles for me. You cut dozens and dozens of circles for me.
And I store your fucking cork in my closet.
We'll leave it at that. Don't have to explain any further.
That was a good one.
And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I
was just saying I'm not mad kids are getting educated and especially arts and humanities. Mm-hmm. I was just talking in my stream earlier about like how I'm worried, art classes might, because when we were younger, it was always a discuss that they're taking arts and music. They're taking arts and music and just going because of budget or whatever. They don't have books, but I guess it depends on the area too.
Well, and I think
depends on how rich your county is.
Yeah. I think so many things have changed where I graduated high school a long time ago, guys, 1994. To get a job in art in 1994, you basically had to become an art teacher or like be really fucking good.
Or you ended up like making the pamphlets first, like, you know what I mean? You would do some graphic design for like Kinko's or something.
Right, exactly. So you're the guy at Kinko's that's laying out the fucking trifold flyers for the pharmacy next door or whatever. But now, I mean, anybody that can fucking draw, you have an outlet to sell to anybody in the world. Whether you're on Fiverr selling shit, ArtStation, DeviantArt.
You can sell classes. You can just go to Udemy and just sell your own class.
You could like do custom nudes of people. I mean, I'm just putting it out there.
They're definitely custom nudes of people.
Hit me up
custom
if anybody needs
3D
one.
scopes of nudes of people. It's great.
That'd be great. Import it into Blender, take a picture.
I mean, I was fortunate when I went to military boarding school. I don't know if that's fortunate. You know, gift and a curse. Went to military boarding school, but like
I'll give you one of these too.
I was also spoiled because we had like one of the first like T1 connections in, in the country.
How much Doom did you guys play?
Unreal.
Oh, it was, okay.
Yeah, but it was, you know, we had high-speed internet before people even knew what high-speed internet was, when people was using dial-ups. I had, you know, welcome, you got mail. I got that. I had that. And
but it happened automatically when you pressed
I was wearing that platinum when y'all thought it was silver and shit.
But so we were able to have a computer class. Like I had a GeoCities and Angel Fire website.
Yes.
We had a class in our computer class. They showed us basics of web pages. So like I was part of why I'm tech adept now is because I started young and being introduced to the internet. We used BBC, not that kind of BBC, bulletin boards. The prequel, the prequel to the internet.
It's funny how acronyms have changed over the years.
And MIRC,
British Broadcasting something.
British Broadcast Company. Well, speaking of kids and doing things, Charlie is he plays several games, and I think this one's called Rec Room. It's built in. It's part of the metaverse. He is building a game and like doing voice acting. It's fucking. It's a 9-year-old is making a video. It's incredible.
I feel the same way about.
And he's going to be able to like. The way this is set up is you make this game in this other game. People go to your game, and then you have microtransactions in your game, and you get paid. There's people making $500-600 a week off this stuff. I
mean, you can just like, Unreal Engine is free, basically. Or it's a small license if you want to sell. Well, yeah, but you can just make a game or make Unity. Unity's free, and then you can just go on Steam and publish. And people can just buy your shit.
Bro, you can 3D model rocks and sell them in the Unreal Engine.
Because like people don't want to fucking make their own assets. You just sell assets. People just sell buttons. Just like, here's a pack of 50 different kind of buttons, $5.99. People buy it.
Yep.
I feel the same way about my kids doing these animations. Like, you know, like, I mean, Jaina's are getting good as shit, but like even Selena's are like rudimentary, but it's like, holy shit, like that's certainly a dog walking. Young, you know what I mean? Like,
but give her the amount of time.
Yeah.
Shit.
Speaking of dogs, I learned something this week that I guess I'm a fucking idiot for not knowing.
Let's narrow it down.
So, yeah, fair. So what can you tell me about things that you should never feed a dog?
Chocolate.
Yes, I've heard that one.
Houseplants.
So I had
some plants.
Some plants. I think. Yeah, I know cats like eat grass when they're not feeling well.
Any other one?
You're not supposed to feed them off the table. He's not supposed to feed them
that's for a different reason, though, right?
But I thought some people they shouldn't be eating it. It's not necessarily healthy for them.
I don't know. I think sometimes I'm like, man, what's this chicken? You know what I mean? Is chicken better than this pile of?
I got breaded and fried and.
No, not in this house, bro. Come on.
Got seasonings. I don't know how they feel about peppers and salt and shit.
Well, no, I mean it's seasoned, but it's like, but I mean, like what's in these fucking crunchies? You know
what I mean? Something in particular that you discovered?
So I'm just curious if there's any other major thing.
I don't know of anything else.
So me neither.
But you had dogs,
and I've had dogs.
Yeah,
but I know now. Grapes.
What?
Huh?
Yep. Now, this is where it gets fucked up, and this must be a generational thing in terms of
dogs.
No, in terms of passing down knowledge.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, like we feed it, you know, like shit falls on. It's like it's like one of the fucking bonuses of having a dog is you don't need to vacuum as much, right? Like,
damn, I need to trade these cats in. They make more of a mess.
Yeah. So, like, you know. Like I feed the dog shit all the time. Like, you know, I'm like an old man. I'm gonna have some watermelon. I look down at her and I'm like, you want to have some watermelon? She's like, you know what I mean? her tail start wagging, then we'll both go sit and we'll both go eat the watermelon together. You know what I mean? And just sit there like two old people eating watermelon on a bench. You know, it's probably quite charming to see, but given who I am as a person, but. You know, carrots, whatever, like fucking pit bulls, they'll eat fucking anything, you know, children, whatever. So, like, I'm kidding.
I mean, they probably would. You feed them a child, they probably eat it.
But, like, so my wife feeds, like, my wife's cutting, like, not cutting, but like picking grapes for bags for the fridge or whatever, and she just tosses her a grape. She loves it, you know, so tosses her another grape, loves it, and then she sort of moves on because, like, you know, most of the food is for us.
Yeah.
As she does this, Selena comes down the steps. And Selena's like, Selena's 9. Mm-hmm. Selena goes, you're not feeding her those grapes, right? And Laura says, just 2. And she's like, are you crazy? It's toxic. It's going to kill the dog.
That's crazy.
And we were like, what? Fuck out of here. Like, you know what I mean? You can't tell me shit. Chocolate's what you can't feed them, you know? Well, I'm talking shit from the couch. And next thing I know, Laura's like, yeah, apparently it can kill them in up to 24 to 48 hours, depending on the amount So then like we're like, well, fuck, what do we do? Now I'm pretty sure I've fed my dogs grapes before, like just not knowing, and their stomachs, especially Pits, I feel like their stomachs are just like tiger sharks. They just plow through it. But better say the sorry, she's a puppy, she's very young.
Yeah.
And so Laura gets on the phone with our vet. But our vet is with another animal, and they can't talk to us right now. So they give us the number to like
animal poison control,
which I didn't even know was a thing.
Yeah.
So they talk to us, right? And they're like, well, what's the haps on the craps, as it were? And we're like,
shake them up. West Coast.
And we tell the story. And then they're like, okay, well, if you would like our veterinary advice, it'll be a $95 fee.
What?
So,
what?
So of course, I'm like, never have I ever hang up, right? Call our vet back, explain to them, and they're like, okay, well, you just have to wait till 1 p.m. So we call back and paid a $95 fee. And they basically say, all right, go to CVS or whatever, get a hydrogen peroxide, mix it with such and such, and a 2 teaspoon, whatever the fuck formula it is, mix it with milk, maybe feed it to the animal. It should throw up within an hour.
And you made a volcano in their stomach, basically.
Yeah, and then go through the throw up, make sure that you can find the grapes, and if you can't find the grapes, then she's got to go to the emergency room. So we bought this big ass fucking jug of hydrogen peroxide. Guess how much that shit is?
It's expensive now. It's like $6. $12.
$15.99.
I don't know. He works at a pharmacy. You tell me.
I guess $15.99. 67 cents.
What?
Oh,
67 cents. What can you get anymore for in my day, Joe?
Yeah,
but
we tell them because you couldn't get them.
I was almost as amazed by having accidentally killed my dog as I was by how cheap hydrogen peroxide
I bet you that stuff got like overproduced during the pandemic. And
yeah, maybe.
I know, like rubbing out, like we use 91% alcohol, with the red label.
Yeah,
and it used to be pre-pandemic. It was like $1, and I think now it's almost $3. Yeah.
I think certain things are really expensive and hard to find because everyone bought it. Because like production, I guess, lags behind demand, right? Everybody wants it. They sell out of it and they made a bunch and people don't need it anymore. Now you fucking have a surplus.
We are literally dealing with that trying to avoid that exact thing with my business, what I do for a living.
With dioramas? You made too many dioramas, now people don't want them
anymore. Not dioramas. my actual mortgage paying job. So I saw your puppy today.
She's alive and well. We fed her the cocktail.
How was that?
Fine. She just ate it like a motherfucker. Loved it. Couldn't get enough.
Oh,
and
the dog did eat whatever.
And then she threw up 3 times. We counted 2 grapes, which we were pretty sure. We weren't sure whether it was 2 or 3, but we were pretty sure it was 2. Counted 2 grapes, but she's been aces ever since.
That's what's up.
Now, here's the funny thing about it. Jaina comes home from school the same day. She gets home an hour before the other ones, right? So we're like, Jaina, let me tell you a story what happened today. We fed the dog grapes, and she's like, grapes? Grapes are toxic to dogs. And I was like, how in the fuck do you know this? All right, fast forward the next day, Laura takes the baby to the grocery store to pick up a couple of things. Laura says to her, I'm going to get these special treats first. She had a rough day yesterday. A rough day. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Joe? You know what I mean?
That just reminds me of that one really sad story. And that's really fucked up. Oh my God. I don't know if you need to tell that again, but that was rough.
So she's like, what the baby's like, what kind of rough day? He's like, well, I fed her grapes, and the baby goes, grapes are toxic to dogs.
How does the baby know
I don't know.
Is this something being on Coco Melon or whatever that's called?
It might be on a cartoon show they watch.
Maybe.
They watch a lot of like shows with like anthropomorphic anthropomorphic animals.
But it was just like, how in the hell does everybody in the universe know this but me? So anyway, that was a little bit of excitement, but
the baby is crazy.
All's well that ends well. The dog is also going on the full 3-mile walk now. I have you know.
Oh, the full 3-mile trot.
She is jacked. You're training the fuck out of her.
Yeah, but she is done afterwards. I'm talking about like tongue out the mouth done.
I mean, that's what you do with kids, right? You fucking run them amok so when they come home and calm the fuck down and don't run amok inside the house.
Exactly. And the training's going well. You know,
it looks like
we showed off a little bit today.
You don't need classes.
Yeah,
like I don't have a dog, but I always told you, if you get a dog, you need to take them to doggy class. I'm like,
yeah, like I'm at a point like when we got our other dogs. We first of all got them older. But when the second one we got was a little bit younger, but we already had a full grown one. It was just too much for us. But now just having a puppy, being able to work with the puppy, like it's going pretty well.
And you have experience.
Yeah. So anyway, Joe, you got your coffee first. Chris, how was your nerd week?
Oh wow, gosh, it's been so long. Finished watching. Yeah, this is the repositioning episode. So,
yes,
really our nerd weeks are probably going to be kind of tame. AEW was fucking great. I got a huge wrestling weekend, but by the time you hear this, I'm sure it was fantastic. We got to get used to this new rhythm here, guys. Yeah. Sorry. Everything happens on the weekends. It's going to be weird.
So for those listening, we recorded Monday? Was it?
No, Tuesday.
Tuesday night. So we recorded Tuesday
After
night.
dark.
It is now Friday afternoon. And because we had to reset to accommodate Joe's new work schedule, so that hopefully we can have the three of us together more often.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be off every Thursday, Friday from now on for a few weeks, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday from indefinitely. Hopefully, if I can keep it that way.
Nice.
So anyway, I did watch a couple. I watched the ninth movie of the fourth season of Stranger Things. I say that because these episodes are so freaking long. The last episode of, I guess it's either the last episode that's out. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yes, I did hear that. It's like a full blown movie.
Or like a long thing, so that's quite normal now.
It doesn't give you a lot of room to catch your breath either. It is just
it doesn't have Netflix tendencies, even though it's on Netflix.
It doesn't. And
well, in many ways, it is the anomaly for Netflix.
Well, and I'm not
successful.
It's a Stranger Thing.
It's a Stranger Thing.
Well, look, they've renewed it over and over.
Yeah, they've renewed it. The British version's called "It's a Bit Odd," isn't it?
Oh my god!
Swallow. Punch it down the throat.
As stories usually work, I think there were either 4 or 5 separate stories going on that converge into the finale, and
nice.
It was really cool the way they did it, and it it's kind of upsetting some of the things, like, it pulls on your heartstrings a little bit.
Right.
Some of these characters, what happens to them, and it really kind of explains the whole fucking thing.
Mm-hmm. Is it over? Can it be over now?
Well, I'll tell you, the finale was something horrible happened to their town at the end of it, and that horrible thing was continuing. It left you with something awful happening over in the sky. No,
so it's not over.
But I mean, it could have been. I think it could have been over.
I like the bad end in the game.
Yeah, like the bad ending to the video.
Yeah, you finish this game and you realize you fucked up somewhere like 8 hours ago, and now you have the bad ending. It's like, do I want to replay this to get a good ending or not?
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Speaking of replaying things, Cyberpunk Edge.
you're never done, dude.
Well,
you've got your money's worth on Cyberpunk, bro.
I have, and I'm telling you, anybody who hasn't played this game at this point, it's fine. It's not glitchy. I've actually played a little bit of it today. Edge Runners is a Netflix, Bobby. I know you don't have it anymore.
Yeah, I canceled Netflix recently.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You're going to say recently forever, too.
There's an anime coming out. I'm going to watch it, Joe.
Oh, what is it called?
It's called Cyberpunk Edge Runner.
Oh, yeah.
And it's in the trailers.
That's when a cyberpunk works you just until you're about to come and then stops, I think.
And then they lick your butthole. They lick your butthole.
And then they run away.
They put out
I hope it's a better version than the Blade Runner anime.
So it's a lot more.
The Blade Runner was like, it's fine, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. I don't call that an anime though. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I may be wrong.
I believe it's anime.
Yeah. It's those Japanese cars.
Okay, Bobby.
Did you know when I worked in the film industry, the section we housed those in was called Japanimation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there's only one section.
It was 1 4-foot section.
I do
with like
remember
7
that.
shows.
And sometimes it's episode 3 through 8.
It would be whatever.
Or
someone didn't return the first volume. Fuck, that's out of print. I'm never going to have the whole
You know what I remember most looking at in the Japanimation section?
Probably the boobies.
Do I really want to give this Witchblade a shot or not?
Oh, man.
I mean, it's hot.
It looked good.
If that was a hentai, I would watch it. But there are hentais of it.
So there's a NSFW trailer for this anime on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very violent and sexualized, apparently, which fits with the game.
Okay.
So CD Projekt Red, who produces the Cyberpunk franchise, has been supposedly working on the next update for this game, and it only makes sense that they're going to coincide the new update with this series. So, like next, I think on the 6th, whenever that is, they have a live event to talk about the anime and what's next for Cyberpunk. And you can people dig around in Steam and find where they're working on. And
data mining.
It basically looks imminent that there's a new update coming. And
cool. I mean, I'm looking. I like that company.
And
like that was a hiccup with them, but I'm
really
looking forward to Witcher 4 the game and then Witcher Season 3.
I think I'm going to order my first Figma figures.
Oh, really?
Because Figma makes the bike from Cyberpunk. And
why didn't you get fucking Hot Toys Keanu from Cyberpunk, bro?
I'm good on that. They also make the Ghost of Tsushima lead character.
They're going to have Ghost of Tsushima live action movie, I think.
Yep. Well, supposedly the director of John Wick wants to do it in Japanese with a Japanese cast, and I'm all about it.
All about it.
I'm all about it.
But speaking of anime, Netflix just dropped part 2 of JoJo part 6. I can't fucking wait to start.
Do you think I probably know that already, Joe?
Yeah, I assume you know that.
Also, the video game's out. The fighting game.
Oh, well, the fighting game's been out for years.
Okay, well, the newest version of it.
Actually,
Mason was playing it.
American release.
It looks really cool. It's this, I think they call it 2.5D animation, Bobby. So it basically looks like they rotoscoped the animation and made a 3D person out of it.
It's like cell shading.
Yeah, it's really cool. It looks really cool. I have no idea what's going on or why these people have these other people on their backs.
Their stands,
I know it's their stand in the place where you live, now face north. And that's really it. My nerd week was super short. I got a cool, fun, long weekend coming up. I'm looking forward to goofing off. I got a ton of diorama ideas. I've got a whole pile of shit I've halfway done, but I lose interest in it when I get it like 80% built. I hate myself.
That's my life with any hobbies.
So I've been obsessed with trees forever. I figured out a great way to make the trees now, but I need to make a base for it.
It's funny.
Trees, you like your friend trees?
Yeah, my buddy trees.
Yeah, not those trees.
Bad. You guys are looking at me crazy. I never told this story?
I don't guess so.
All right, so my buddy Trees, he earned his nickname because he used to smoke a ton of marijuana.
No way.
And then he'd read the Bible and kind of kill the vibe for everybody.
I mean, you can
look. It says right here,
the Bible is made of rolling paper, bro.
Yeah, and this is high school days. It was like plain pages in the back. The words.
Yes,
you're supposed to.
Jesus won't be mad at the blank pages, right?
All right, so
Jesus don't care anyways. He's probably high right now.
One day we were in the world, and we're listening to music, hanging out, chilling.
Relaxing, all cool, shooting some b-ball.
No b-ball, but a lot of
couple of guys that were up to no good.
That might be true.
Just being recreational, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And
circle of friends, right?
Circle of friends. And circle of trust.
As long as there's not a pivot man, you're good to go.
So Mace's Bad Boy or whatever, Make Me Feel So Good.
What you know
comes on, and I wasn't a huge Mace fan at the time, so I didn't say anything. I just I'm not going to upset the party over a record, right? Mm-hmm. So, but Trees.
But if they brought,
would you though, Bobby?
But if they brought Litos in,
so
I feel like if anything could trigger you to ruin a party, it would be music.
So this is another category where I'm often misunderstood. So you're not wrong for thinking that, but usually I will just leave.
Okay. You take yourself out of the equation.
Yeah, and I.
Wait, hang on a second. You're at a party. You're enjoying yourself. Music you don't like gets played on repetition, and you will leave.
So chances are I won't be enjoying myself
anymore.
Okay.
Right. But also, like another thing that is a misconception with me with music and social events is that I at someone else's event want to dictate the music. That couldn't be further from the truth. I don't want anything to do with it. It's a lot of responsibility and I know now more than ever that people don't want to listen to good music necessarily. And that's not to say that all the music I like is objectively good, but that's not what people are looking for.
They're looking for music that's comfortable.
They know.
That they know. Like, I'll be honest with you,
makes them feel good. Which things do you know a lot of times
that
you
they
feel
know.
good.
It's kind of nerve-wracking knowing you're going to be around and there's music playing, because I'm like...
Oh, I'm judging it.
Well, I know you're going to judge it, but I almost like...
Hey, good news, I've never left.
Do I...
Well, usually it's in the car. So can you imagine Bobby just like, nope, I'm out.
Your wife and kids are there.
Just fucking jump up, roll out.
He usually has a playlist going at his house as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
So anyway, he says, oh, man, I hate this song. And I'm like, why? And he's like, satanic, man. And I was like, what? And now this dude's always telling me, you got to understand, this dude's getting high, telling me everything in the fucking world's satanic. You know what I mean? Mortal Kombat's satanic, Dracula's satanic. It's all fucking satanic.
Sure.
And he says, are you not listening to the words? You're not even listening to the words, man. And he takes his hand and he lays it on the table and he puts it palm up. And starting with a karate chop with the opposite hand, starts at his elbow and hits his forearm down towards his wrist with every syllable going, bad, 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 bad boy. Back to the elbow. You make me feel so good. Back to the elbow. Bad, 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 bad boy. Back to the elbow. I wouldn't change you if I could. Saying that he knows he's evil, and even if he could change, he wouldn't want to. That's Satan's work.
I was chopping his arm if anything to do with it.
Maybe
Just
that's-
something-
I'm like, trees, if you don't get the fuck out of here.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why Mace became a preacher.
Well, wouldn't
What
that
the fuck
be?
else he
funny is
listened
that?
to?
Wouldn't that be the biggest, like,
but you could do that with literally anything.
greatest moment in rap history? Is if Mace of all people
What's
came
this?
out to be in here, this huge Satanist, and there's just like pictures with him with Anton Cazander LaVey, like in black robes, kicking it on a, you know what I mean? Like, oh god,
Fuck the trend.
yeah.
What you know about going out head west, opposite of where the sun comes from? Red Lex. It was red.
Dude.
TVs. What do you think they're watching on those TVs, Bobby? Pornography.
You gotta do the science.
Pornography.
Do the science. That's another thing
In
you
the
would say. Do the
headrest.
science.
Do the science.
Do the science.
What a mess. What a mess.
How did I get to Mace and Bad 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 Boy?
Music and trees.
I don't know. It was I was done.
Because you were talking about trees. You were talking.
I was talking about making trees and being frustrated
Oh,
and
and
not
you
being able
said
to
like your
finish
friend
product.
trees.
Yes.
Oh, and I was going to say the reason how I'm different than you two in that way is that when I get to the 80% point, that's when I'm locked in. Like you can't pull me off of it. My hardest point is getting to the, so to speak, is getting it's a dull point. Is getting to the 1%.
Yeah.
Oh, starting.
Just getting started. Like literally taking the shit out to make the first cut or measure the first line or whatever. That is the fucking most difficult thing for me to do because all I think about is the journey,
How much work to-
how much
ahead
work
of
it's going to
you.
be,
That's how I feel
and
before
that
the case
how
stuff.
little of it I'm going to get accomplished now.
Now. Yep. No.
Well, take that and scale it to the fact that, all right, I have to be able to do this in a way where if we need to make 100 of these, I'm not going to kill anybody.
Yeah, I think
That's
we have
rare.
different reasons why we stop at 80%. Mine is because by 80%, it's looking pretty good. I'm like, oh, I'm doing good work. But in order for me to get to 80 to 100, I would never be happy.
Right.
I
I'm
would
that
be
way.
stuck
Yeah.
at 90. I'll get to 90 and be there forever and never be happy. And I'll just start to get mad at it. Like,
And I
I'm
feel
not
you on
fucking
that.
good enough. This shit sucks. I'm
Yeah.
done.
See, but I've just come at peace with not being good enough.
That's all I need to do. To
Well,
accept.
The thing that I do that is
I'm really good at the first 80%. Bro.
I stress out about little bitty things that nobody else has ever done.
Same. I mean,
But
that is why it's not good enough for me because of the
but
fucking.
I'm putting the shit out. I'm like my shit's in the world.
Yeah.
I'm like I don't want to know every time I see someone with this,
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, there's that fucked up part.
I mean, that makes more sense because other people are judging your shit. A lot of shit no one even sees. It's only me. It's for me, by me.
For the people, by the people.
For us,
It's
by
Fubu.
us, on the low.
Fimbim.
I know you like the
But
outfit.
then I'd be like, man, the
stylish.
bottom of the bottom of his shoes aren't painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While he's standing there, I'm like,
I mean,
it's my mental hang up.
I do shit for myself that I don't really share with anybody. And a lot of it's I'm
But you're
self-conscious.
happy with it.
I'm maybe.
I have
that's
Maybe
the
I might
problem.
fucking hate it. Who knows?
I have this piece that I finished like back in the beginning of spring. Like you guys have seen it. I can't say what it is yet, but it has this character in it and that character in it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I've known I was going to do something that involved like a pre-order opportunity for people to get on it, so to speak. But I'm in the same boat as you in regards to it, where I've drug my feet on it. I wanted it done by September 1st. I'm just getting started laying out the rollout for it on September 1st.
Yeah.
But it's because I'm so uncomfortable with the idea that people won't like it or see all the things that I see wrong with it, or all that shit. Like,
And objectively, they won't. Most of the time they won't. Or like the little things, like they unless you point it out, they won't see it.
yeah. But
Well, I know it took me a minute to remember that, but yes, in the presentation, I think you're going to do just.
Yes.
fine.
I hope so.
If
I
you
hope
do
so.
it, you're doing the little thing we talked about.
yeah. I hope so.
Yep.
So with
How was your nerd week,
I'm gonna
Bobby?
let, I'm gonna Joe go.
Oh, that's right. I forgot I went first. Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
usually
you
that
never
doesn't
go
happen.
first.
I never go first.
So I streamed for the third time today. I streamed for the second time yesterday. I know my Twitch handle.
What is
my
it?
Twitch page is Cypress54. That's what
Somebody shared it in the Patreon.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like, "Look, Joe, here's Joe's contact info on it or whatever." Like,
It must be your what'd you call your person that does your scheduling?
handler?
Your handler.
You have a secondary handler.
Thomas from We Is.
Dude, my
Just tell your job handler that, hey, can you give people this contact information for me?
I mean, I need a I'm a fucking child. People think I'm an adult because I pay bills. I'm a child at heart. Like, I need a handler in every aspect of my life. People just don't realize Krista is my handler
That's why
for
I got married.
everything outside of work. She's my handler of shit.
Same thing with my wife.
Same thing with mine.
Like, even with our business, like, I just make shit. I don't even talk to her about prices. I just let her price it and put it on the website.
Well, even
because
with-
that's like always a fucking frustrating conversation. So I'm like, I don't care. Sell it for whatever you want.
Well, even with the thing that I'm getting ready to roll out, Laura had to do all the legwork to figure out how to get it, where to get boxes to ship it, where to like do all that shit. Like, I would have never done it, and then I would have I would have taken like a $70 loss.
Yeah.
You want to have it?
yeah.
But I'm enjoying it because I yesterday I blended and streamed for like 7.5 hours.
Let me know next time you're doing that, because
Every Thursday and Friday morning I'll be doing it.
like I said, let me know next time you do.
Yeah, that'll be my schedule. But yeah, every Thursday and Friday morning I'm
hang out with you while I'm
free.
doing something.
And then, but because like I was telling people, dude, I can't believe you streamed for 7.5 hours. I didn't stream for 7.5 hours. I blended for 7.5 hours with live turned on,
Yeah.
because I would have been doing the exact same thing whether I was talking to people or not.
No, I have a question about that interface. So,
Do you see the walking?
huh? Yeah, I
walking?
did. I saw
Yeah.
your video. So, when you're doing that, what program do you use to show your screen? Is that something that's built into Twitch
For Twitch?
to like screen share?
There's a
essentially?
couple. To how to Twitch. I mean, basically how to broadcast.
I know that, but like you're showing your screen instead
that's
of a
what
camera.
you asked. It's built into.
So
it's
just-
built into whatever broadcast program you use. There's two of them.
Are you using OBS?
I'm using.
Okay, I know enough about that. To,
Yeah, you can
to know
just
what it
share.
is.
Instead of sharing app, I'm just sharing my whole monitor. It makes it easier for
Gotcha.
if I want to pull up anything. Because if you're just sharing an app, you gotta switch off if you want to show something online.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it.
That's
but
cool.
I'm getting to that 80% mark on the current thing I'm working on.
Which is amazing, man.
It's-
like, I mean, when
I'm starting to get frustrated.
when you sent that video of it walking, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was
Because
amazing.
I was just it's free. The Pokemon's free. I was just talking about that last week.
Is that part of
2 days
Blender?
ago? 2 days last week.
Is that part of Blender? The animation? Or that's another program?
You can animate in Blender, but like there's so many. Like, just find the best program for free to do the job to do. But you can animate in Blender. But that program just came out 10 days ago that I use for animating.
shit.
It's free. Their microtransaction is that they will buy and sell animations. So they have some basic animations, the walking, the idle, whatever. But you can make animation skeletal frames. And they'll buy it, or you can sell it on there. So like you're like, oh, I like that sword swing. That sword swing is
Right.
great. I can pay $2 to buy the animation and use it, versus me trying to animate a sword
Yeah.
swing.
So like if you wanted your character to do the Iron Man pose,
Exactly.
like, you can buy that for a couple bucks.
That's a free one.
Oh, okay. But just for example, you want
Yeah, it's so common. Yeah. So so that's one that is called Real Illusion. Real Illusion, like 2 words in one. That's real fucking clever, bro.
It is.
But because there was already another program called Maximo that people were using. I haven't tried it because I just know about it because I just now starting the animation and this is new hotness.
When are we going to just start a makerspace? A makerspace. Basically a workshop,
Oh.
like for all of our different shit. That's not my house.
I mean, you were supposed to buy the pot.
I was like, Joe, does he not know that we already have one?
Yeah.
that's not my house.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
We're Cody. No, that's the whole fucking thing about Brofest.
Yeah, true that.
He doesn't know.
Oh, I don't know.
It's just Brofest. Don't call it Maker Shop.
No, well, legitimately, like, Kelly and I were looking at some space.
You were supposed to buy a plot of land next door, and you could have built a fucking shop there. There was a plot of land next to you.
A plot of land, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that plot of land, exactly. You could have fucking built.
If I had a
General Steel, whatever, get a prefab, pop that bitch down.
This motherfucker spent $1 million already between the building and the land.
I
don't have $500,000 to buy this land.
watching these fucking infomercials as an 8th grader about General Steel selling
they still exist.
prefab.
I think you can make it in Modulcase now. You can make it.
No, build a whole thing on a modular case. It's modular space. You can make your modular space.
Make our modular space.
Boom! There it is.
Free plug.
No, that's super cool, man. I'm really excited to see what you come up with.
I mean, and
let me know when you're ready for a challenge. I'll give you some head someone sculpted.
Nerd animate it.
Well,
I mean, that's the beauty of it versus drawing is once you've sculpted something, is there forever. I don't have to redraw.
You can start over
every
from there.
frame of Bobby Skullface over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You can just sculpt the Bobby Skullface and make him say all the fucked up shit you want him to say.
Dude, you know what?
Just clip his voice.
You don't need that. You just let me go.
It'd be hilarious to like get the find somebody that's got like the Scooby-Doo, the loop backgrounds they used to use. Just make us running or something.
So next thing I'm gonna do is going to download Unreal, right? And
nice.
And see if
you can do it.
I need to stop being distracted. My problem with any if you notice with anything I do, just like when I was drawing, I drew one character. I'm like, I'm going to draw a fucking 6 and a background. I mean, I ended up doing it in the long run, but it's like being too ambitious. Like I've not even done one sculpt. I'm like, I'm going to make a game, and that's how you set yourself up for disappointment and frustration and failure.
That's true.
Well,
right?
listen,
you got realistic expectations and step goals.
Joe, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
There you go. So you've never heard that analogy?
I think I have, but like that's one of those wild things. Who said that? Why?
Well, it's because look, are
they edible?
Looking at if they're made of gummy.
I mean, not everything's edible.
Is it sticky?
Blowfish aren't edible, right?
Homer Simpson says if you cut the right piece out. But saying that to say, it's an analogy for you see this huge thing.
Yeah.
How am I ever going to accomplish this? Well, you just break it into little pieces.
Yeah. So I have to focus on that.
Milestones is like, all right, by X date, by the end of the year, I want to be able to have my full cast just made, not animated. Just here's my character.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to focus on.
And then learn how to do whatever else.
But again,
they say the same thing with weight loss. Like if you're trying to lose like 50 pounds, right? Like you never approach it with the idea of
you try to lose 10 pounds.
You try or 2
1
whatever,
pound a week,
or
half pound to a pound a week.
Like just something,
because it's daunting otherwise. Yeah. But like, problem is, I'm at the 80%. We just talked about like with this sculpt. I'm like, I'm pretty fucking happy with it, but I'm not happy with it. And I'm like,
but you also have to come to the realization that if you're gonna play, right, which is what you're doing,
yes.
You know yourself. You know you're never going to be satisfied. So you just have to. I said it jokingly earlier, but you just have to come to terms with the fact that you are never going to be happy with yourself in some way. You know what I mean? Like,
because nobody's perfect.
And no matter,
I'm sure that artists who are amazing still pick apart.
Well, that's the thing, and everybody does that. I don't think there's an artist in the world except maybe Alex Ross. He knows his shit don't stop.
That motherfucker. I haven't thought about him in years, man. That motherfucker, dude.
See, Bobby, you're not angry.
Trying to rile him up today.
He's not angry enough because the sun's still out, so I need to fire him up.
He doesn't even put Superman's curl at a 30-degree circumference.
Oh my god,
motherfucker.
Anyways, but the thing is, just like no matter what your position is in life, no matter how bad you think you have it, even outside of art, there's always somebody who's like that. Where you are is what their goal is, or their next step is. Right.
That's true.
So no matter what we think about the art we create, because we're, I hate to say that we're all artists.
I always say I'm a technician. I'm not an artist.
Yeah, I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe.
All a bunch of simple tricks and nonsense.
That's all it is.
Exactly. That's all it is.
That's basically what I say to people. But knowing that, like, whatever we produce and whatever issues we have with it, somebody out there is like, man, I wish I could do that. Or, oh my gosh, how did they do that?
Well, if they were a high school student right now, they could.
They could fucking learn, Joe. Hey, I gotta keep my diorama game up, or these fucking high school kids are gonna steal all my shit.
Start paying your fucking kids to do Blender.
I tried with one of them, and he's oh, by the way, exciting news. Guess who's going to be the manager of the vape shop?
Wow, he sounds so good. Wait, I remember, but he was but a lad and a fucking floor sweeper or whatever the fuck it is.
That's right. He was a laborer for Crash.
And one day he'll be on fries, and that's when the real money starts rolling in.
That's fucking
So that's good.
honestly,
It is good. No, it's
that
great,
is
though.
really fucking cool.
Yeah, so like I think the district manager is
That's what he's shooting for? He's going to be the district manager next?
I don't know, but the
Shoot for the stars.
person that manages his store is going to become the district manager, and then he's getting.
But I mean, in all honesty, though, like that might not be his interest in life, but that is a career
not-
path.
but look,
you
I told
can,
him-
you
I
can
said,
climb
listen,
the ladder and
I
just
was
fucking
in
make
the-
that dollar.
I was in the film industry for many years.
You were.
and I ran. And I've told him, I was like, look, you have a great wealth of knowledge in me for any issue you have here, and I was like even explaining to him how to navigate some things.
Then you can
and-
ask Bobby about vapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, they used to call me Wrecking Ball
yeah.
because I was a blockbuster.
Dude, have you seen there's a Blockbuster show? Bobby, I think it's on Netflix. I know you recently canceled. There's a Blockbuster.
Tell me about it.
So it's Randall Park is the lead in it, and it's like he
Park. Sounds familiar.
Well, he's Asian. He was
Park,
in
right.
He's the Asian guy
He's
from
Korean, I assume.
I don't know.
Representation.
He's
that
in
was what we're saying.
Ant-Man. He's the guy he's the FBI agent or whatever. He's also in
Yes, he's funny.
WandaVision. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's and I guess it's the premise is he's the last blockbuster in the world. I was hoping it was going to be set in like the early 2000s, but I think it's like a modern like the last blockbuster.
I would rather it be like futuristic. It's like 2050, and that's like
blockbuster.
last blockbuster in the world.
Yeah.
Well, in Stranger Things, they were working at a video chain called Family Video, which really existed. And the company I worked for, Movie Gallery, at one point actually bought Family Video.
I'd never heard movie gallery.
And also,
Family Video.
Also, they were called Family Video, but they had porno rooms.
Well, I mean, the family.
They only
video
had,
front.
but it was only
That's how some
it
families
was
start.
only the step
Dude,
relation porn is all they had. Keep it in the family.
they were ahead of the time.
Yeah.
Like Big Bad Wolf
So to
and
speak.
down in Silver Spring back in the day, they were a video shop, but like their regular video was like one counter, and then the entire back room is actual video store, which is porn. But like they I don't know why they even bother fronting. I don't know if it's a zoning thing, but they're
Might have
fronted
been.
as a regular video store, and they have like literally 20 tapes.
So we had a location.
And then the beaded curtains, of course.
Yeah. Well, we had a location that had the full back room, but it was also just a huge video store. But we had the Playboy videos, and we kept them on the. But women would come in, and I say women, church people would come in
Okay.
and just like, I cannot believe you have this pornography on display for the children. And one time I was in there, and this woman had been in here a lot, and we had even like put little paper covers on it so you could.
And you're like, it's
FYE.
This is
Ariel. She just wears a bra.
This is good.
What are those buildings that look like dicks in the back?
She says, I can't believe you have this out for display in front of children. I was like, no, ma'am, that's not pornography. And you remember when porno boxes were like,
Yes,
huge.
those
They were
big
huge.
with
I
a
pulled up
foam
one
on
of
the
these.
inside.
I was like, this is pornography, ma'am. That's in the very back. She's like, I'm appalled by it. And she ran out, and I never saw her again.
Clutched her pearls.
I probably saw her husband the next day. You'll never believe what they have at Movie Gallery. Oh, they do. Wow.
Well, see about that.
Well, don't check my. Yeah.
The beaded curtain, does it draw anything to mind for you?
Other than porn shows?
Yes, like from a movie, or anything.
Probably. Big Lebowski, maybe. Am I remember?
So for me, for me, it's I always go through it the same way. I make the two hands, and I
Look at Moses over here.
I dead center, and then I part them all, and the left hand goes lower, and the right hand goes higher, and I reenact Gary Oldman entering into the apartment in The Professional.
Of course, it's Gary.
Good. That's amazing.
Thanks, Gary.
Of course,
You're the
Gary
best.
Oldman. And also, great reference and great movie.
Yeah, great scene too.
Yes.
That scene in particular, like what is it's like he's like, you don't like Beethoven. I love Beethoven. You must be a Mozart guy, and I love Mozart. But for this sort of work, I tend to go with the harder guys.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Hang on real quick. Did you know Arnold Schwarzenegger once had an option to play Mozart?
No, really?
But instead, he said, "I'll be back."
As soon as "oh really" left my lips, I fucking knew it.
Hey, that was I heard that horrible joke the other day, and it just wandered into my frontal cortex.
No, you fucking wait for this shit.
I'll be back.
Fuck.
Nobody. I had a
It
steady.
was a fucking Mozart movie.
I had a steady stream of people
Amadeus?
sending them to
Yes.
me,
Amadeus.
but I haven't gotten any. You guys have bad jokes. Send them to me. I'll hit Joe with them.
Full circle.
Here we go.
Gary Oldman played Beethoven
Yes.
in Immortal Beloved.
Oh
Yes.
man, how about that?
We do this.
We're tripoding. We're tripoding.
Professionals. We're professionals.
That's right. That's right. Pay me.
All right. What else you got, Joe?
Watch off Knife Fight.
What?
Or whatever it's called. It's not as interesting as it seems.
What is it?
No, it's on Hulu.
What is it called?
I think it's called Knife Fight. It's a Forged in Fire spinoff.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Fuck, it's cringy. I mean, it's interesting. This part of it is interesting, but most of it is real cringy, and that's why I'm in it for. It's hosted by Bill Goldberg. Yes, that Bill Goldberg, and an Asian guy.
You won't even meet me halfway
I know
anymore.
who you're talking about from watching the show.
But it's not Doug Makata. It's a different guy.
Oh, okay.
It's a different,
Doug Makata, I guess, is who I'm
different
familiar
special
with.
forces guy. But it's people who bring bladed weapons to course.
Okay.
I won't say obstacle
Like
course.
they made these?
I was hoping so, but not all the time. Sometimes some
I bought this machete at the Army Navy surplus.
Exactly. That's
and
the funny part of when they break.
I'm going to be honest with you. If I entered into this competition and an Asian dude showed up, I'd be like, oh, fuck.
Well, I don't think he's bringing a samurai.
There was a couple Asian guys, and they did pretty good. Well, there was one that brought a
God damn it!
But in general, katanas don't do well because these motherfuckers, a lot of them are weebs, I think. They think, oh, katana's so fucking cool. Katanas are not the best weapon. They're cool.
They're more of a pokey weapon.
And also, like, they're made that way because they had shitty fucking metal in Japan back in the day. And that's all they could do to make a fucking decent sword. And if you whack that shit on ice, it will bend.
What about it?
It was made traditionally. Depends. Can Damascus or Samai? But...
Don't talk dirty to me, Joe.
but they'll be, the fucking middle-aged white guys who comes in like kung fu uniforms or karate gis. And I've been training in my dojo for 30 years or some shit, and then they do real bad. That's what I'm there for.
Oh man,
but you feel so bad for them.
And then they're like, I've been studying Filipino martial arts for 30 years. And when they come in with a little knife and they're trying to fucking break a block of ice with it,
they bring in this whole bag of perfectly sliced 20-ounce Coca-Cola bottles, and they're like, "This is my work."
I mean, it is, because sometimes you see the preview videos, I guess the audition videos.
No doubt.
And I'm sure there's some really good belatesmen there. There was a guy who was wielding a Zweihander. Like, it was, this guy's into LARPing.
What?
But not like a two-hander, like a giant,
gotcha.
like a 5.5 foot
like
sword.
an anime sword, yeah.
But it's real medieval Europe sword they used back in the day. But like, he was wielding that shit. He was like fucking helicoptering, cutting ice, like 3 blocks of ice. Bro. So there's very impressive shit and very cringy shit, all of which are entertaining. So they're like ropes and fish and chicken and all kinds of random shit you have to like, these contestants have to cut through.
That's awesome.
And some Fortune 5 champions is there. And of course, wrestling tie-in. Exactly, wrestling tie-in.
Does he say,
he's so sweaty, bro.
Next?
He sometimes you watch a show and people get progressively sweaty.
Because those lights are hot as fuck.
He is moist from scene 1. He is just, like, that Key and Peele gif where he's just
he's just pouring sweat.
That's him, like starting the show right off the intro, just fucking pouring sweat. I'm like,
I'm Bill Goldberg and I'm all sweaty. Hey, listen.
He's just nodding. Yep.
Listen.
This sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
I keep him busy with that shit so he doesn't fucking wrestle anymore.
He's still old wrestling now, right?
He's wrestled this year.
Nation Boy wrestled.
No. Goldberg's he's still in phenomenal shape. He's a horrible wrestler.
Oh, is he?
He's always been awful. Think about it.
But he was popular,
He had
though.
3 moves.
I don't know his
all
3
he-
moves.
Yeah.
But he was popular.
He was popular.
You know Goldberg.
But he's still
Goldberg.
awful.
Side note:
Ultimate Warrior was also horrible.
when I went to
You shut your fucking whore mouth.
when I went to Cirque du Soleil, and I took a picture of how close I was to the stage because I was close as shit.
Oh, he flexed on them. We got to pay for them tickets.
yeah. When I did that, Caitlin's wife hit me up and was like, "Oh, you're in the sweat splash zone."
Oh. Hey, I saw
like
something
a
that
good
shout out to Caleb. He posted a memory, or maybe his wife posted it. He was at Burning Man. I'm like, I've got to hear this story.
Yeah, why?
That is a story.
I need to know.
Burning Man's always a
Caleb,
story.
we next time you're here, we definitely need to sit down and record that.
Yeah.
We don't do it before then. I need to know because I've never been.
Me neither.
I mean, it seems wild as fuck.
Yeah. It also seems like it's getting more corporate.
Of course,
every
I mean,
year.
the more something gets popular,
there's
gets
probably
yeah.
a new Burning Man out there. We don't even. That's too cool for us to know.
Right.
Wait till the Burning Man documentary of how it gets fucked up.
I
one
bet you
year.
they're probably-
It's gonna be.
Right.
I was supposed to get a quarter scale start to come in today,
You
but it's
got a
fucking
lot done
delayed
in
to
3 days.
Yeah.
Tuesday. Huh?
Your sketch comes Tuesday?
So it's going to be coming Tuesday. It's a quarter scale, no, 5th scale Kerrigan, the Swarm Queen from StarCraft 2. I love her. She's, like, I'm not into aliens and tentacles in that way.
So to speak.
We don't like this the same.
Like the girl receiving is okay, but the girl giving not so much. Even though I'm down for good pegging, but like the girl being all aliensies and like fucking claws and tentaclesies. She looks. I'll show you a picture later. Like she was a hot girl, human girl that got taken and transformed into this fucking alien queen. But her character is amazing. Like her story arc, the whole story. The StarCraft people play StarCraft for the gameplay. It's competitive as fuck. I don't give a fuck about that. I think the story is compelling. I love the whole lore of StarCraft. I have books and shit.
Sounds like you're a lore whore. Is that why you're here?
I mean,
I'm just here for the lore.
If you add anything in front of whore, and I'll take it.
Fair.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a third party, of course, because there's a lot of franchise out there with high merch potentiality.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
Fucking mix shit.
I agree.
Like Final Fantasy VII. All my great set. Do you take a look at them when you were over?
Oh yeah.
You saw the naked ones.
They
look beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah.
They didn't have to be dressed that way. I could have clothed them properly.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I like the clothes one better.
Yeah.
I need to come over your house after we're done. Sorry. I need to come over your house. No, because I want to look at that space for that.
Yeah, I had one with a skirt flip up and panties around her ankle. And
I saw that.
That was purposeful. It was tasteful.
My kids thought the same.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
Nice. I remember you sending us pictures.
Shit. Shit.
Selena came back and was like, she's got a bunch of girls with no clothes on, and like,
you didn't tell me about this.
No, I was like, it's hard. I forgot.
I'm kind of embarrassed.
So you need to get.
Well, I don't often get embarrassed, but
they've already forgotten about it.
I know, but like, I didn't need to expose them to that.
You need to get the replace your acrylic on those for that. You can press a button and it smokes itself.
Dark it out. Yeah,
or just have a button where you can just like put a mist in there where they can't chill.
No, let's just put a drape. When kids and family over, just drape that bitch.
That's great.
Beside the mirror.
I mean, I told you I had a problem with. It was part of my dilemmas. I'm like, I want to buy 2 of these, have the regular clothes version in the display room, and have the other ones privately, like in my jerk off closet or something.
Right.
But yeah,
you haven't made the closet yet.
Yeah, I haven't made the closet. I haven't bought the second. I haven't bought the second copies. But anyway, Kerrigan's coming in, phenomenal. Same company that made the clothed one of Tifa. Same company, so I'm assuming it's going to be great because Tifa's great. And that's it. And I was thinking to myself that we're nerd. I don't know why I put this down. We're Nerd Rage Radio Phase 5 now. I guess I was thinking about Marvel movies.
Phase 5.
I mean, Phase 1 was Bobby and Adam.
Okay, here we go. All right, let me hear it.
Phase 2 is not just me. I was the 1.5 when they were introducing other characters.
Oh, okay.
Phase 2 is me and you, all of it, all four of us.
4 of us. Okay,
that's Phase 2.
Okay, and all right, I'm with you. I think I might debate this, but go ahead.
Phase 3 is when Adam left. Okay, so maybe we're in Phase 4. Phase 4 now is like the rotating cast of superheroes.
So I will say,
like with Avengers, when they were like, fuck it, when there's no real Avengers, everyone can be an Avenger.
I would say Phase 1 is Bobby and Adam. Phase 2 was Bobby and Adam with Phil and Joe as audience members.
Oh yes, when we went back, I remember that Black Phillip.
Oh, Black Phillip, yeah.
Phase 3 was Bobby, Adam, Joe. Phase 4 was Bobby, Adam, Joe, Chris. And Phase 5 is Bobby, Chris, Joe.
But I feel like because of June and July, I feel like there's a different phase now.
We might be entering.
Those were just the TV shows.
It's not like this cast was very standard, and we had guests sometimes, but now it's like more normalized. It's like a different feel. It doesn't seem out of the ordinary.
That's true.
For there to be other people.
That's true.
Well, I mean, even people's questions are like, "Hey, Bobby," and whoever's there.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's why I'm considering a different phase.
It was the roughest logistical planning for a podcast I've ever dealt with.
But it's over now.
It is over, and it went fine. And it went fine.
To piggyback on that, before Bobby, I forgot something. I watched She-Hulk.
Okay, so did I.
I figured that would.
We can segue there. So, what are your thoughts?
Once again, by the time this show gets started, it's over. To me, it's like because they're 30-minute episodes,
which I think is best.
Well, I thought it was.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Telling the story of the abomination with Wong, I thought was entertaining. You know, that he breaks him out of prison to go do, you know, to fight wherever they were fighting. I mean, it kind of explained that, it kind of just threw away, explained that whole thing.
I thought the overarching story was going to be involving her trial with
me too.
So when it was over, I was kind of like, I'm now we're 3 episodes in, and maybe the very end of the episode is what suggests the overarching story.
Maybe.
That's the Wrecking Crew, right? Like, I'm pretty sure
that was awful.
Yeah,
awful. That was awful. Those 4 guys try to jump her, and they've got these Asgardian looking. She says, "Would you rob a Asgardian?" Construction site or something.
I kind of remember Wrecking Crew being
this was
in the comics.
Yeah, I remember.
They just look like thugs.
Yeah, but these were like children that were attacking him.
Yeah, they like Tiger Shark has like the Tiger Shark, like
Tiger Shark.
There are some things. I mean, one did have the mace, you know, so like the
mace again.
Or the wrecking
ball.
Here we
go. We're talking about mace again.
The wrecking ball.
Satanic,
to be fair,
satanic mace records.
But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a highlight for me. So I thought it was fine. I was a little disappointed that I wasn't going to get the court drama that I was kind of looking for.
Yeah, it would have been cool if it was like a court drama show.
Yeah, with like this superhero shit in the background.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. I'm really not sure where this show was going, because I'll be honest with you, I thought the whole Blonsky trial was going to be the main story arc here, and I don't think it's over, because I think he's going to get out and do horrible shit.
I've got
how many episodes? We're 3 episodes in. How many episodes overall?
No,
we're 3 episodes in.
Out of.
I don't know.
I'll look it up while you talk.
You can engage more if you know if it's 3 out of 12 versus 3 out of 6.
Yeah, I don't know why I want to say 8, but I don't know.
Is that the formula?
I don't know. I might just be pulling it straight out of my ass. Let me see what else I have to say about it. So for one, the me not liking the breaking the fourth wall thing kind of continues to be a comment point upon publishing this show. I had 2 last week. I don't remember one of them. Billings said something I think made talk about like changing things about the characters. Like, well, this is something that you would be changing about the character, and it's like, I think that like 9. Okay,
we're a third of the way done.
So I think that like sometimes. So I try to never speak. That's funny. I try
never say never.
I try to not
Justin
speak
Bieber.
in always or never, because I usually don't feel that way always or never. Right. I think with changes, if you make it make sense, I'm okay with the changes. And the example that I gave Billings, and I think Billings understood what I was saying, but just because in my mind it's the rule of 10s or whatever, there's other people that feel the same way as him. So Superman's red trunks, dumb. Don't make any fucking sense.
Out of right? Outside, this was common back in the day.
Doesn't make any fucking sense. So like when you change that for the movie, I'm okay with that, because it's like, this is a suit that was sent to him with like okay, good, I'm with it. That you've explained why it's this way. I'm cool. Sure. So I'm okay with the change if you explain it. The thing about the breaking the fourth wall thing is it's just for me, you know, and if for anyone, they think like, well, it's in the comics, so that's okay. Well, then perfect for you. The reason why I have an issue with it is because for me, it raises too many questions, even if it comes from the comics. It raises, well, then does she know she's in a movie? Or does she know she's in a movie universe that people are watching? Or does she know that there's like writers so that she doesn't, or does she know that she's part of a franchise?
Or is she insane?
So, okay, yeah,
right, because she could just be insane and talking to imaginary friends.
Explain it,
right?
And I'm good with that too. Yeah. But now you got to you got to
answer it.
Now she's got to be insane though.
Yeah,
you know, like it's got to be something that continues, and I'd like to know where that insanity came from. Is it genetic? Is it whatever? But like, you know, like, because if you're in this universe, right, and you understand that you're a franchise player.
Yeah, and we ain't here talking about practice.
We ain't talking about not practice, man.
Not a game.
No, it's been a while.
Not a game.
It's been a while.
But like, then you should not really feel worried about consequences, because you want to be continued as a franchise, and they're probably going to make money off of you. Like, how much do you know?
Yes.
You know, and like, see, I think Deadpool and that has a perfect understanding.
And it's explained.
Yes,
he's not crazy, but he's crazy.
Yeah, but even in the movie, I feel like he knows it. He knows it all.
Yes.
So I'm good with that. I just need, like, for me, every time she does it, I'm like, this is dumb.
Me and Mason were sitting there watching it last night, and every time she talked to the camera, I'd yell, "Who the fuck is she talking to?" Because it doesn't. I think we talked about it last week, but Deadpool, you know from Jump, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And here, she was just like, just giving you these little smirks. I'm like,
and it's like you
got to do it or not do it.
Because like if you pan the camera to somewhere else, then she's just talking to nothing.
What'd you think about the after credit scene on this episode?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So here's another
after credit scenes
with Megan. It's
another thing. Is spoilers, Joe.
That's fine.
So Megan Thee Stallion. Are you familiar with Megan Thee Stallion?
And
she's a rapper.
The name sounds familiar.
So she's a rapper. She
was part of the WAP song.
Yeah.
Oh, the wet ass pussy.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wings and pizza, bro.
So she's not Cardi B. She's the other one.
The other one. Okay.
And
the other contestant.
She's a big female player right now in the rap world. And so here's because the on the nose political shit or like social commentary shit, now you're making me think about it. Right? You're presenting it to me in a way where now I have to think about it.
Right.
So now I'm thinking about it. So when you start making Megan Thee Stallion a key person to circulate
in the MCU.
a story about, right?
As herself.
As herself. It's actually pretty funny the way they tell the story. We won't go into the whole thing, but with the Asgardian girl and all that.
I'm good with all that. But like now I'm like, okay, so we're not supposed to objectify women. We're not, we're supposed to talk about how the poor treatment of women and women should be treated as professionals and everything else, which of course I agree with all of those things. But you want to champion Megan Thee Stallion in that same has anyone heard a Megan Thee Stallion song out there?
I have
no idea. Can I do an impression?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just my pussy's so big, my pussy's so wet, my pussy's so deep, my pussy look like a sunset. Like that's every fucking song that she's ever made. And like she also, if we want to get deep into it, she fucking so to speak, she fucking lied about getting shot by somebody and sent the dude to jail.
Oh no!
I didn't know about that.
That is so, bro. That's a big deal.
So that's more big than anything else.
What's the street say?
So she claimed that she was shot by Tory Lanez.
Really?
Yep.
Were they dating?
They were dating at the time.
Okay.
The whole story hasn't come out yet, but enough of it has come out where it's like this ain't right. But like. As a result, Tory Lanez got fucking blacklisted. He got what is it called? Shadow banned.
Yep.
Like you couldn't even on Apple Music and shit. I had to type in his whole name without any mistakes.
Nothing came up
for that shit to come up.
I was looking for somebody the other day and I had to do that. I don't remember who it was.
So like, what is so if the message is important, if it's so fucking important, well now I feel like you got splaining to do.
Yeah.
Where if
that's a big.
Whereas if the message was kind of like, here's just some shit that's going on and something to think about or whatever, without like pointing to it like fucking Keenan Ivory Wayans and fucking don't be a menace and literally looking at the screen, message. So now, okay, cool. That's the message. Now I got questions. Is it okay to lie and send an innocent person to jail because that you have the media social leverage to do so? Is that okay? Is it okay to just talk about your pussy all day and then not understand how men associate you with sex or women associate you with sex? To be fair. Like it's not an accident that Cardi B chose a song to do called Wet Ass Pussy with that young lady.
Yeah.
That's not an accident.
Right.
So,
well, they had a twerk. They were twerking together.
They had a twerk off at the end.
At the end, and I saw someone online comment about that, and someone else comment. I guess you've never read the comics. I don't know what they're doing.
It sounds like I don't want to read the comics and I don't want to watch this show.
Well, it's like
it's been entertaining. Don't get me wrong. If we just tear shit apart here.
If I have to read the comics because I've read She-Hulk in comics, I can tell you I've never seen her twerk. But if I have to read the comics to understand why She-Hulk would be twerking, and then also talking about how she shouldn't be objectified, and it's not to say that those two things are completely mutually exclusive, but it's fucking complicated.
It's very complicated.
It's
extremely complicated.
And to pretend that it's not is just fucking silly.
Yeah. People like to make it cut and dry.
And in the same show, they also say like her assistant or whatever says something like let's trap catch him or thirst catch him.
Make a thirst trap. Yeah.
Thirst trap. Let's make a thirst trap. Like let's sexualize ourselves in order to. So it's like what is the message? What is it? Well,
I think one of the messages people talk wild as fuck when they're just with their friends, but may not be that way on social media,
or they're fucking sloppy fucking writers.
Yeah, that's also
That
part
too,
of it.
yeah.
So other than that, though, I find the music to be average.
Yeah.
You know, an average Marvel show. I don't hate it any more or any less. I don't think it's any better or any worse. I just think it's like, oh, this is one of these.
It's serviceable.
Yeah.
But back to, I guess our original point. I don't know where the fuck they're going with this at this point, because I thought it was all going to be about Obama, and it may loop back to that at the end.
It looks like whoever hired the Wrecking Crew might be the
baddie.
Yeah. All right. So that's She-Hulk. I started watching this show, or movie rather, and I'm just mentioning it because I'm not sure if it's good or bad yet. I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it by next time.
A movie that you didn't finish. It's weird because I don't not finish movies. Shows, yes, but movies it's like usually one sitting thing.
So the problem usually for me is like I start them late because by the time we get up into the bed,
Late at 7:30 p.m.
You know what? It's like now, Joe. I tell you, it's getting up 8:39. You know, so like it's called A Most Violent Year.
Which one is that?
It stars Oscar Isaac.
Oh, great.
I remember you mentioned that
Last
wanted
week.
to watch it last week.
Okay, so he owns like a heating company.
Oh, yeah.
So like I'm still attempting to work my way through it. I just still find myself falling asleep during
It's
it.
not good enough? Or?
It's not that it's not good. It's like that it is good, but there's a lot of dry, silent places in it.
Oh, you hate those.
Well, maybe, but it's really hard to stay awake during them.
Yeah.
You know, so like he'll make like a really like something will happen and it'll be like, whoa, but they sit and let you think about that shit for a minute, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I'm falling asleep.
You thought about too hard.
But so far, like the shots and performances and all seem to be great. Now, this is not the greatest nerd week for me. I started watching another thing that I fell asleep on.
I mean, it's been 2 days, fine.
But this one seems great. I didn't want to fall asleep on it. Laura's doing this voodoo shit to me. Remember I told you last week that like she found some I had some chest pain.
Yeah.
Well, so she found this muscle in my rib that's super agitated. And it's like in my first rib. So it's like it's tricky to work. But she's like doing this black magic shit to it, and like she's done it twice now. One time was in the middle of the day on the living room floor, and one time was in bed while we were watching the show. Fell asleep during it both times.
You gotta wake up without a kidney one day.
God bless
You play the long game.
But the show, I think it might be great.
Which show is this again?
I think it might be.
Did you tell us the title of this shit?
It's called The Staircase.
I've seen
It's
it.
a true crime story,
Yeah.
a dramatization. But I was glued to it until she started working on my ribs, so to speak. And then I was out. Wow, I was out. And then
Fiction or nonfiction? Don't know.
it's a
reenactment
it's
of
a fictional telling of a real event. It's
Based
based
on
on a true story.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the last thing from my nerd week was I watched the latest episode of House of Dragons.
I'm planning to catch up on that and the Lord of the Rings this weekend.
I'm loving it.
Okay.
I'm loving it. And I'm going to watch Lord of the Rings. And that just dropped today.
Yeah, it came out.
So I
last
plan
night.
on watching that tonight. But like I'm loving it.
I'm going to
so
catch
far.
up on all that hopefully by next week.
And like so I don't want to get preachy, Joe, and I don't want to get too sexy, so to speak.
Hello.
But there is a ton of commentary being made about sexism in this show, and it is done perfectly.
Not like She-Hulk.
Not like She-Hulk.
Unlike
It's done in a way where you're like, "Fuck, man!" Like that's some interesting thing. To you know, like the as a person with 3 daughters, like. I can tell you that I've never maybe it happens and I just don't know. I've never seen a guy with 3 sons walk into a store and random people just come up to him and be like 3 sons, like, "Ooh, you're in for it."
Nope.
No.
Never seen it. But I can tell you that people come up to me all the time. I've never seen a guy with 3 sons and a stranger come up and say, "You gonna try for the girl?" Never seen it. I can tell you that people ask me if I'm gonna try for the boy all the time. And there's an interesting thing about that regarding sexism. And that sort of idea in terms of heritage, in terms of legacy, is explored in this show in a way that makes you think, in a way that makes you digest, in a way that makes you internalize, and never once feels like they're saying this is right and this is wrong and I am the boss of both.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if you remember, but that was 6 years ago. That was one of the first conversations we had down here in the basement.
No shit.
About taking last names. That's part that after that day is when you thought it was cool. By the way, we had a long conversation.
I remember that long conversation.
Yeah, but that was part of it. And you were like, I know it's wrong, but I want my wife to take my name. And we had a discussion about that.
Oh, that's right. I do remember it. Remember it.
And we're like, it's part of sexism, but it's tradition, and we had a long discussion.
Yeah,
about
you're
it.
right. And we want me to go the extra. Now this is where I'm going to get canceled for real. You want to know the extra? Oh God, what is wrong with me, man?
6 years later, here we are.
I'm going to go the extra step. You ready?
Uh-huh.
And I don't mean any offense. Listen, hold on. I don't mean any offense to anybody out there. It's half a joke and it's a little bit real, but it's half a joke, okay? If I see your Facebook profile and you've got your maiden name sitting right alongside your married name, in my head, you're still on the market and you're hootie patootie. Oh, wow. And when I see the full commitment, then I'm like, oh, she's locked in. You know,
What if just no married name, just married in the tag? Like, because
what if it says Joe?
I didn't want her to change her name.
Right.
It's a hassle. Dude. It's a fact.
I mean,
like,
you
guys are like, why don't you do it? Like, why don't you change? Other than sexism and tradition, why don't you change your name to your wife's name?
Right.
It's if you looked into it, it's a fucking hassle. You had to turn your entire life around.
That's not why. I mean, she had an ugly last name to me. I got a pretty last name.
Yeah, dude, you do. When I first learned your last name, I was like, bro, that's too fancy for you.
Scoface.
Yeah, but like, it's very normal. Like again, at my rich neighborhood job, every time someone comes in, a lady comes in with not the last name, he makes a comment of it. I'm like, you're old and trash. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with not changing your whole ass last, especially with how prevalent divorce is.
That's why.
And some people don't change it back. That's how much of a hassle it is. You rather keep the name of somebody you divorced that you don't like than to change it back to your original name.
That's why I only say it in my mind.
And out loud in Nerd Rage Radio. We're gonna cut this up on a Patreon only. but yeah, it's weird. There's some things you remember in life, and that was I mean, not to get mushy, but that was a very important moment. That conversation and that day brought us here.
It's true because like we ended up like you coming for toy shit.
Yeah, we're looking at, like just to meet, like looking at your Transformers, which was on this wall back then. Yeah. And then we got a deep.
And then before you know it, we're sitting down and we're having these like complex conversations regarding life and social constructs and all this shit. And then I remember getting on the phone with Adam shortly thereafter. Like, this guy's on. I remember my exact words where he's on the level. But yeah. Let's see.
Good times, man.
Yeah. Is there anything else? No, I think that's it. I'll tell you real quick. This is the thing. This is the unfinished things of Nerd Weeks. Oh boy. And this one.
How many times can you fall asleep in 2 days?
So this one's extra sad because the thing is only 5 minutes long, so to speak.
Oh no.
Which is about 3 minutes shy of my average. Facts. I'm 8 to 12. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it depends. It doesn't matter.
A solid 20 is what I've heard.
So that's no pre-gaming.
Yes.
Yeah. There's prep time that's got to get put into that. So anyway, anyway, so I tried to watch the animated Groot series.
Oh, okay.
I saw you taking a bath.
I vaguely know that was a thing.
They're 5-minute shorts. And
3
to be fair, I was trying to cram it in to have shit to talk about for this show.
Yeah.
My mind wasn't in it. And I fucking, within 5 minutes, I fucking wasn't paying any attention. My mind had fucked off somewhere else. Like, I'm thinking about the dog, like, you know, so I haven't given it a fair shake. I do plan on revisiting it. Cool. And that's it. The only other thing that I have to talk about, note-wise, is this, what is it called? A Pooh Bear trailer.
Oh, the horror?
Blood and Honey.
Blood and Honey.
Bro,
Blood and Honey.
I mean, just for the memes of it, I want to watch it.
Okay, have you seen the trailer?
I have not.
Would you mind watching it?
Oh, I'd love to watch it.
Okay, hold on one second. All right. So, what are your thoughts?
I think it's supposed to be a B movie. Obviously, it looks like it's shot as a B movie. So, like, I think I will enjoy it as a B movie. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's not gonna be great, but it's the same movies as like Jack Frost and shit. I think.
I mean, I don't usually watch things like that, but I probably will seek that out once it becomes available, just because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, so my question is, are they animals?
Because they kind of don't.
They look like people.
because they
look like people in masks,
kind of
right?
look like people in animal suits, and I don't know if that's because they don't have money for budget for effects, or because in this world, Pooh and them were actually people that wore costumes.
Yeah, because that would be an interesting take where like this kid was hanging out with these weirdos.
Yeah, maybe it was like a carnival or
furries or
shit.
something.
Oh,
and
God.
But I'm not sure if I find that as entertaining as just a murderous Pooh Bear.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm good with either.
I mean, there's a scene when they're...
But it makes more sense for them to,
Yeah, but I'm not sure I want it to make any sense. Like, this is so silly, right?
yes,
that it's like...
Yeah. I think it'd
never and always,
it'd
right?
be an interesting. It's an interesting take, and it's probably a good study in what happens when these trademarks and or whatever it was that expires. Like nobody holds the rights to it. What's it called after a certain amount of time? It becomes
public domain.
Public domain, and this is like the first big trademark thing that's become.
Right. I don't think it taints the
domain.
original property at all. It's a different thing.
I agree.
No, they just have to call. I mean, they could have done this and called it Winnie the Who or some shit, and probably,
This didn't ruin anyone's childhood, bro.
No.
It's not going to ruin anyone's childhood.
No,
hopefully not.
But I do hope that it's proper bears and pigs and like. Can you imagine if it was a fucking like if the kangaroo gets busy? You know what I mean? With like a little
In a
baby
Burger King.
kangaroo.
But the thing is, they don't.
bathroom.
But like in the real world, they don't look like actual. That Pooh Bear doesn't look like a real bear. Is the problem?
Right, it says, but it
So it wouldn't be a real bear. It would be some kind of creature that looks like Winnie the Pooh.
or even if it looked like a stuffed animal that was just a murderous stuffed animal. I'd be okay with it.
Like a Chucky
like
kind
Chucky,
of thing.
yeah.
But it doesn't look like that. It looks
it looks like
a dude in a mask.
It looks like the Nightwing's villains. Or pig face. Remember?
Yeah. Like the Super B.
Yeah. And then all we have left is questions.
Oh, have y'all seen Hulu's I think Hellraiser movie that's gonna come out in October? They have a picture of the lady Pinhead.
That hell.
No, I haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it. I
just saw a picture.
You have a picture? Can you find it?
I can.
Because I would like to take a look at it. I like Lady Hellraiser.
I mean, I have a statue of Lady Hellraiser.
I know.
Before it was even a thing.
Dude, you're like the Hellraiser hipster.
The Lady Hellraiser hipster. I'm ahead of my time. Gender equality, bro.
Hipsters don't lie.
But yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't liked that. You guys had the Bishojo one too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We like Hellraiser a lot. And
while you're looking for that, I'll go ahead. It says, this question is aimed at Bobby, but all can answer. Bobby, you have mentioned at some point, this is from Jim, by the way, that when you were younger, the collecting aspect of Star Wars was more vehicle-centric, and as you grew up, you moved to characters for collecting. That being said, have you seen this new Star Wars vehicle line called Micro Galaxy Squadron? It's very reminiscent of the Micro Machines Action Fleet line from Power of the Force era, with the main difference being they are trying to keep a general sense of scaling the ships correctly. I think they look fantastic, and the price point is pretty great. You can collect most of the first wave for just around $200. My biggest issue with the line are the idea of blind boxes for the smallest items and chase items. That being said, would any of you be interested in the line? My goal is they do all the ships that are in the Rogue Squadron game, and I can make a diorama for the hangar for that game. So that would be fucking cool. So I just want to correct. You said you mentioned at some point that when you were younger, the collecting aspect of Star Wars was more vehicle centric. So that's not entirely true. It looks great.
yeah, I think it looks great.
Yeah, I like it. Looks scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lady Pinhead.
I'm good.
So it wasn't that it was vehicle centric. It's always been character based for me.
Yeah.
It's just that the vehicles were more a part of my collecting. I bought them alongside them, and that was also when I was focused more on 3 3/4. So they were more interactive in that way.
Well, I can speak to this line a little bit.
It looks great. I think.
So you are on our trip last week, Brian Brink is all in on this, and he's there's blind boxes and chases and stuff, and he bought, I think, a case and a half at a Walmart.
Oh my
we
God.
found. Didn't get a single chase figure.
Oh no!
Yeah. So
heartbroken.
But at Walmart I saw the Millennium Falcon. I mean, it's a decent sized ship. It's I don't know, it's about dinner plate sized or so. And then the other one I saw was it was like the troop transport that I think they made the toy of, but they never made the
and it was in the Mandalorian.
I think it was that thing. And I've seen people with a couple. They look really good.
Yeah, I think they look great.
I think it's a great scale to collect for the larger ships. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes I've even been tempted, in my younger days before I kind of realized what I wanted my basement to look like. I was tempted at times like to do the miniature ones, like because some of them look so fucking amazing.
The miniature game is also a great game.
Yeah. Let's see. Next one we have. This is from. I just want to make sure he doesn't have a preferred name. We'll call Marco. Marco says, "Hello, gents. My name is Marco. Been listening for a while, but never bothered to send an email till now. Great podcast. Makes my day go by quicker. Well, welcome and thank you. Welcome. Any thoughts on the recent news regarding BBTS now being the distributor of Storm collectible figures in the U.S.? Bandai is no longer the distributor, it seems. Tweet posted below, as well as BBTS's statement. And this is worrisome to me. From what we've seen so far, pricey figures, no reissues, an aftermarket that would make fans' toys blush, and now only exclusive to one website in the United States where buyers and possibly scalpers will flock to. I feel it's a mixture for a disaster. Time can only tell what'll happen, but as long as nothing gets between me and that new Mortal Kombat 9 Shao Kahn they showed off at Comic-Con, then I'm good. Thank you for your time. Love listening to the show. Keep on raging. Tweets below.
I don't think BBTS has that kind of company.
So BBTS did make that statement that they're the sole distributor in Storm.
Yeah, but they're not like a scalper. I don't know.
So I agree.
I've never had a problem getting stuff on BBTS.
I haven't. I mean, I can think of a time where I'm like, something came up for pre-order and I found out about it a day late. And listen, I've said this for a long time. Whatever line you're into, if you're a completionist, it's a full-time fucking job to get everything, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's a question as to to be fair, he posted pictures of the tweet and I didn't. But are they going to act like Bluefin?
Meaning what exactly?
Meaning, are they the sole Western distributor?
I believe that's how it's written.
And then if Hanny wants to sell Storm collectibles, they will also distribute to
that's a good point. I don't
BBTS.
I don't know
because
they don't really do that. The BBTS don't really do that. As far as I know,
that we know of, and that they haven't done in the past. But we do know people that have tried to do it in the past as well. It usually ends up being detrimental for the price point because usually the Western distributor isn't making a whole lot more on the figure by being the sole Western distributor. So for them to get their money, if Hanny was buying directly from the distributor before, he might be making 100% profit. It might be a $50 thing that goes for $100, but now it might be a $75 thing that he's got to go for $100.
The more middleman
you have, the less money you're going to make.
Yeah, but as a consumer, I mean, BBTS is not a bad company.
Yeah, so that's
they don't.
I give them
they don't have
a
the
lot
best
of money.
prices. They don't have the best prices. They don't have the worst prices. It's always fair. It's always on a level, and you can get it from them.
I agree, and this actually. It's kind of the
and $4 shipping.
I'm in your position that you were in last week in the music discussion. Whereas as a practice, I'm not crazy about this.
Yes.
But I happen not to care because I use BBTS.
Yes.
But I can admit that as a practice
Monopoly is never good.
Correct.
Monopoly is never good overall.
Correct.
But
for me it doesn't really impact me. But and I'm never never and always, right? I rarely buy from import sites just because BBTS is so fucking easy.
Yeah, it's a pain in the dick to buy shit from import sites a lot of times.
Yeah, even
well-known ones.
Right now, I have a figure sitting in my private warehouse at Hobby Link Japan that's been there for a week because I just forget to keep going in there and click ship. You
just remind you, hey, you got 7 days left on this bitch.
Yeah. But it's just another thing. It's fuck. Oh yeah, I got to do that.
Also, I guess BPTS has an algorithm because I only get emails about pre-orders and items coming out that I'm interested in.
Yeah, right. But
so if I bought a lot of Saint Seiya stuff, every time a new thing, which is hard, they sell out immediately.
Right.
So it's really nice that BPTS I heard you like Saint Seiya, bro.
Right.
And
right. The bad thing about that is if you pre-order a JoJo figure for one of your children, now I get an email every time there's a new JoJo. Which I'll be honest, I was like, hey, this is coming out.
Exactly.
And then Mason's only like, well, it's a reissue, you already have it or whatever. So.
And the only other thing to be worried about is if we start seeing a significant price increase over the course of a year, then we know what time it is.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's the worst news ever, but I certainly wouldn't say it's the best.
It's like hold on your pants.
Well, there's a reason.
There's
a reason for it that I'm sure is above past what we want to do.
There's a lot, there's an SH Figuarts discussion out there that like what is going on with them?
I lost.
I
track
haven't
of them.
bought anything from
Yeah.
Figure Arts in.
Same. But it's like
I might have one pre-order floating around out there, and I had to think about it.
it's just like they have really, there was a time where they had like their foot on the throats of shit. They've definitely let go of it. All right, next one is from Brian D. He says, here are some NRR After Dark clips for the board.
Oh, boy.
Brandy heard Mr. If You're Nasty's request and laughed wholeheartedly. I hope Brandy's doing well, by the way,
Yes.
which is good to hear on my end. Once again, Bobby, I have no idea if these will sound good, so do with them as you will. She's just happy to hear her voice on the air. So let's go through them. There's not many. Here we go. All right. Talk to me.
So nerdy. So naughty.
Oh, my God.
Bro, I got the tingles.
Oh,
Bro, what are you making her do?
welcome to Nerd Rage Radio After Dark, where we put the nerdy and naughty in your body. Ooh,
Oh, wow.
so nerdy. So naughty.
That's pretty good right there.
That's for late night episodes.
Welcome to Nerd Rage Radio After Dark, where we let the nerdy and the naughty come alive. Rawr.
All right, now I know what I'm doing with my third panel now. I'm going to have a separate
just
Nerd
nice.
Rage
Just
After
a
Dark.
Just a
panel.
Brandy
Well, no, just Nerd Rage After Dark. So
okay.
let her intro it and
But we rescheduled this whole week's episodes just so we don't do Nerd Rage After Dark anymore.
But it'll
happen eventually.
undoubtedly happen.
It'll happen
Also, it is
eventually.
fun. It's
Yeah, it
tiring,
is.
but it's a different vibe.
Yeah, it's a different vibe. All right, so the next one is from Fighting Rabbit. He says, I loved Casey point on fantasy football, and it got me thinking about fandoms in general.
Yeah. I've been saying that forever.
Yeah.
That
He said,
fucking-
personally, I think fandoms are just terrible.
Yes, all of them.
When you
All of them.
when you like something, cool. When you go to bat for it or against the thing you love to the point that it's almost a religion, no thanks. Wanted to hear your thoughts, and thanks for doing what y'all do.
I think people forget what the words fan come from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fanatic. Fanatic is not a good word. Being fanatical about stuff is not actually a positive thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, what about you, Chris? Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get wrapped up in stuff you're excited about, and things, are coming out, and you defend it, right?
It's naturally defensive because you feel attacked. If you like something and someone's shitting on it, you feel like they're shitting on you, right? Just
I'll
like the
tell you-
toys. If you buy toys people don't like,
I think also, though, there's this element of it where, because I don't necessarily feel, because see, I'm that person, kind of. Like, I go to bat. Like, I don't go to bat on social media, but I'll come in here and go to bat. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like, I would be hypocritical to say anything about it, but I can say that objectively, like, I don't feel like when somebody shits on something I love, I don't feel like they're shitting on me, but I do feel like they're shitting on something I love.
Yeah.
And I tend to want to defend
obviously you want to defend what you love.
what you love, right?
Well, there's a guy that works in the deli at Safeway that you probably want to whoop his ass, because had a Star Wars shirt on the other day, and he's like, "I like your shirt, man." And we talked a little bit. He's like, "I just hate episode 8."
See, and
I hear you, brother,
a lot
and
of
I
people
walked
say-
away.
Dude, in the moment I hear those words, like it's blood in the water for me.
I know.
But I mean, look, I'll be honest. The truth is, my thoughts on what was it? Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice theatrical edition and episode 8 had a huge impact on the relationship that I've had since I was 11 years old.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when two people that are super passionate about something allow it to be taken to the mattress. There's a podcast that I listen to that I won't plug because they're not paying me. And they're kind of in competition.
Are they charting though?
No, and I like them. I do like them a lot. They're not really in competition, but it's just not really relevant. But they disagree all the time, and it's the most healthy disagreements I've ever heard two people do. Like, I listen to them to learn how to be better.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But the truth is that I think I'm just genetically inclined to that shit, or it's my background, or it's my environment that I came up in, where it's my first step, right, wrong, or indifferent, is get loud, get funny.
Yeah.
Like get loud, get funny, because like I'm like, I remember there was the conversation I had in a Dust house at his birthday party.
Oh, like 4 years ago.
Yeah, where Hove came on and they skipped it, and I was like, how in the fuck can you guys sleep at night? And then I was like, he is the greatest. And then they said, well, I can name a ton of people better. And I was like, well, please do. And
I remember this very distinctly somehow.
And the name that was thrown out was Cool G Rap, who I love.
Yeah.
But I got loud and I got funny. And so I pulled out my phone and I was like, let's call. First of all, I was like, name me 5 Cool G Rap songs. And nobody could. Name me 3 Cool G Rap albums. Like, I ended up being able to name more songs and more albums than anyone in the room that was praising him. Then I phoned a friend and couldn't find it. And that's not to disrespect Cool G Rap, because I think he's great. But that is the proof. The proof is in the pudding, is that like his impact is not the same. And that's not to take anything away from what he's done. You know what I mean? Like,
but you'd be comparing contrasts.
Like a great white shark is better at being a predator than a whale shark, but a whale shark's bigger than a great white.
But at the end of the day, everybody likes music.
Yeah.
Right. So like I run into this a lot with in wrestling. You talk about toxic fandoms.
All fandoms are toxic.
People are very protective of what they like. So, it's WWE or it's AEW.
Right.
And oftentimes I'll say, I love wrestling. And that's all I'll put.
Yeah.
I mean, because I do. I mean, I don't really care who puts it on.
So like I make fun of droids all the time, right? I think it's because
R2D2, C3PO.
But not K2SO, though.
Not K2SO.
Yeah, he was all right. The Rolly thing.
Never and always.
What's
right?
the flying floaty thing?
But
BB Hate was the bad one.
But like the truth is I make fun of it because I think it's so fucking funny. Because I don't think, like, I think that like it can do more, and it somehow makes it worse. And I think that's funny as shit. So like, I think it's an easy thing. It's like, for me, it's like low hanging fruit, right? It's the same thing. Like, like when the shit comes up, I'm like, they make phone calls, or you got to download Skype? Like, just because it's funny.
Yeah.
But I know that it's capable of doing more.
Sure.
And I do actually respect what it does and what it brings to the table. And I understand how someone could want that over an iPhone. I just think it's so goddamn funny that you have a fucking droid. And I think the name sounds terrible. Like, I just think the branding of it, the little green thing, I just think it all.
I think they've kind of moved away from that.
You know why?
Because it was dumb.
But that's why.
So are black turtlenecks.
But that's why I
Apple Man.
See, but I don't know. That shit is like,
That's where he draws the line.
It's not
It
necessarily
helped that one fucking lady sell fucking fake blood machines.
That's right.
Like, if you want me to criticize Apple, I can. As a matter of fact, there's something like last week listening back to that episode, I was like, man, he fucking derailed me again. Because
That's what I'm here for, by the way.
And
That's my job.
It wasn't a full derailment this time. It was just that one of my fucking wheels was going cattywampus. One of them had the Gomez wheel. But like at a certain point during that conversation, I start talking from a perspective where it sounds like I'm defending Apple Music. Did you ever feel that way?
No, I didn't.
No, I never did.
Okay, good.
I never
Okay,
did.
good.
I could see how.
Because listening back, I was like, oh shit.
I actually listened back to the whole episode. I normally don't, but I'm like, I wanted to hear that argument again and make sure I was not that I was right, but I expressed myself the way I wanted to. And I think I did. I think we all did.
Because when I say, like, I'm like, if I can go on Apple Music right now and play it, but it's not what I meant. What I meant was I can go on my Apple Music library.
I understand.
Okay, good. Okay, perfect.
And also, like, aside from that, the beauty of that is you got loud. It was a loud conversation.
Yeah.
I don't fucking feel a way about it.
No,
well, not everyone can do. Not everyone can do that.
So somebody
People will
actually
feel a way about
somebody
that.
I think it was Eric B. He commented and he was like, the way that y'all were able to joke your way right out of that shit was impressive. But that is something that we've had the ability to do
Since
is
go.
Yeah,
I mean, I've never left this room mad at anybody.
No.
Well, okay. I lately, since the pandemic,
Don't say that. Never know.
Since the pandemic, I have not left this room upset.
But like, it's like, because that for me is it's not the tie that binds, but it's like, it is like it's like during a debate, it's like you work on your sandcastle and you work on your sandcastle and I work on my sandcastle, and we're all trying to show everyone how our sandcastle is better and more solid and has more towers and it's a better structure to be a king in.
Yeah.
But the joke, when it hits, it destroys all of the sandcastles and it brings everybody back to ground zero.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that because it's much easier for me to laugh about some shit than it is for me to be a mature, reasonable adult about some shit.
Absolutely.
And also, some people just get in the feels, right? For me, at the end of the day, when the rubber hits the road around 7 o'clock,
It's been a while. It's been a while, that
8
one.
o'clock for Bobby. Like underneath it all, like the topic discussion is interesting at the time. I don't really feel that strongly about most things, and like our friendship is like base of all of that.
Right.
Like none of that shit is gonna shake the foundation of the friendship for me.
Yeah. And I think for me,
And I know there's no ill will. I assume there's no ill will.
Yeah,
on anybody's part
mine
here.
is my feelings. It's just interesting to like look back at because it's been like a couple things recently like that have happened. It's like my thoughts, feelings, emotions, passion. It's entirely wrapped up in that thing.
Yes.
And as soon as that thing, we say that's no more of that thing for today.
Move on.
I'm off.
Yeah,
I'm off.
same. The ability to, I mean, all three of us have the ability to do that. But some people, you know, some people don't. I've seen like friendships ruin over dumb arguments before.
Yeah.
Like, so people just get in the feels and they feel personally, we're talking about fandoms. Like, people feel personally attacked over something that they don't, like, feel personally attacked over the football team. You're like, you have nothing to do with that football team.
Yeah.
You know what drives me nuts? And
people get in real serious fights over that shit.
Yeah.
when people, when like college sports especially, like, wow, you know, we just didn't come out of that. Motherfucker, who were you there?
Yeah.
And by the way, to end the debate on the phones, you just
have
one,
both.
One of each.
You just carry one of each.
Flex.
Whether you want to or not.
So Kevin S. writes in, and I knew this was going to come at some point, but speaking as a fan of She-Hulk, she's probably my top 5 Marvel characters along with Doctor Doom, Daredevil, Storm, and Spider-Man. That's an interesting top 5. That's a good conversation to have. We need a top 5. You guys want to do one today? I have a little bit of extra time.
Let's see where we are when we get down.
All right. I'd have been pretty disappointed if she didn't break the fourth wall. I know a lot of people think it's a Deadpool thing, but she did it long before he ever did. Hell, she did it even before she first appeared in a Marvel comic, before he even appeared in a Marvel comic. And while I've never read Deadpool, I don't much care for the character. I guess she took it much further than he did, regularly talking to her writer, artist, complaining to her editor, and even storming the Marvel offices to throw John Byrne out the window. I don't remember that.
Hang on one second. Do you take it personally that he doesn't like Deadpool?
No.
So I'm just bringing it back around.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Sorry.
To me, not portraying that element of the character would have really robbed her of something that made her stand out. It'd be like doing Spider-Man without his quips or Daredevil without his Catholic guilt. Sure, you could do it, but what would be the point? I just wanted to give some perspective as a fan of the character. Kevin S. And dude, I totally appreciate your perspective, but I just had to chime in real quick, and then I'm gonna pass the mic. The problem with the comparison, right, is that Spider-Man's quips are kind of explained. Like, they kind of show like he's this kid and he's young and he's with these titans of the earth and he kind of does it to hide his own insecurities, right? Daredevil's Catholic guilt, it's explained. He was an Irish Catholic raised in Hell's Kitchen. It's been part of his life. It's been part of his psyche. There's
Makes sense in the world.
Correct. That's what I mean.
It doesn't break immersion.
That's what I mean. And for this, like, my issue with this, Kevin, is not this. I'm okay with this if they make it make sense.
I want to know why it's happening.
It's the overall impact, right? It's fine that she does
I'm
this,
fine with it.
and it can be entertaining. But if it doesn't make sense to the greater universe, it's immersion breaking.
And it's just like Superman's shorts. Superman's shorts. This may be nerve rage facts. That's just what I'm going to call things. I'm not really sure, but I just say that. Like, he was the first superhero with underwear over top of his pants.
I think he was the first superhero, like in comic book form, or some shit like that.
I think so too, but I feel like there could be like, well, no, there was Ultraman who was just in the Chicago Tribune, like, whatever. But like
Lone Ranger.
But like, or however you want to define it. So he was the first one, let's say, to wear underwear on the outside of his pants. He did it way before anyone else did it. Yeah. He was the first one to do it. It's integral to his character. It's integral to how people view him.
People copies that.
People copied it.
Batman does it.
Batman does it. Probably all because he did it.
Yep.
Do you think back then people were like, God, he's so brave to wear his underwear?
Cyclops did it with a yellow one.
So I think it probably the bravery came when the first person decided to be like, let's not put underwear on the outside of his motherfucker's pants.
And change it. Like, nah, fuck the trend.
But that doesn't mean like it's the same thing. Like the fact that they take it away. In the movie, they explain it. They don't specifically say, well, when wearing underwear on the outside is kind of dumb and doesn't make any sense. They just say, like, look, this is the suit. This is of his people. It's a thing that's passed down. And, like, therefore, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that you just wear something like that. And the way it's presented in that film makes more sense. And that's not to say that it couldn't be done well, because it's like, and it doesn't bother me in Christopher Reeve's representation. You know what I mean? It's not always a never thing, right? Yeah. It's just saying that, look, this is a thing that's confusing. It's and I understand that it was in the comic, but you still have to, like, Spider-Man's webs and shit are in the comic, but you had to do the work to show where it comes from. Because
to explain it.
Exactly.
Whether it's Tobey Maguire,
exactly,
where your body just makes it, or you have a cartridge and you run out.
Exactly.
Skeet.
You know, so like,
does it feel good when you shoot a web, Pete?
It's just an understanding for me.
Just all day, just
it's purely like just make this make sense, and I'm good.
Yes,
you know.
Yes, it has to make sense.
Mary Jane ever licked the little thing where?
All right.
Think it through now.
Billings.
I didn't think about that.
Salutations, gentlemen. Bobby, I was wondering if you come across another show, not a documentary, that is, as you call it, one of them. I believe the last one you turned me on to was Slow Horses, which was great. I've been really eager to find another good show that's thought-provoking and capturing rather than just stimulating my eyes with flashy colors and poor dialogue. Cough Marvel, cough Star Wars. Hashtag stand with standing standards. Hashtag stand strong. Love, peace, titty, degrees, Billings. I don't stand alone. Still my favorite. So I have a feeling, I can't say with any true confidence, but I have a feeling that the staircase
they
show
just keep falling asleep on
is one of them. But Laura keeps doing the voodoo on me and keeps knocking me out. But that's what I'm leaning into right now. Is that show seems like it's gonna be really fucking good. Like when she was like, I should probably work on your back and your chest. I was like, because the rib goes all the way around for those that don't know.
Breaking news.
In my head, I wanted to say, let's just not do it, because I wanted to watch the show. I just knew it was the responsible choice. I knew it was the responsible choice, so that it worked, because I had to work the next day and blah, blah, blah. So I think that's, but I can't say for sure quite yet. Paul C. Before my question, I just want to co-sign Willy Whammo's recommendation of the show Misfits. Interestingly enough, when I get Casey, what's a good British programming show, Misfits is absolutely one of the ones I recommend. To connect it to some of the other things it has the breakout roles of this person who played Ramsay Bolton on Game of Thrones, this person who plays Klaus on Umbrella Academy. Now my question, we in the nerdosphere tend to bond with someone based on things they read, watch, or bought. I think you can actually learn just as much about someone based on these things they haven't quite gotten to yet. That said, what do you still have in your nerd backlog?
Bro, I can't even list how many shit is my backlog.
Is the backlog something you do eventually plan on clearing, or is it something that will ever growing? More interesting to me is there's a level where you growing backlog ever makes you anxious. For background, this question came about after Bobby and I were talking about the Skullface Patreon. I have been a Skullface Patreon since day one, and then he says to hit this. And I used to support at the top tier when I drove 110 miles per day for my commute. All of the content was incredible. Then I got a job that was only 8 miles away from my home. Then the pandemic happened, and I don't even go to the office every day anymore. All of that change meant that I had hours and hours of Skullface content just stacking. It eventually got to be so much that I had to drop my support level. I got too anxious with all the buildup. The Asian in me just wouldn't let it be. Since I was paying for it, I had to listen to it all. And because Bobby was putting forth the effort to create it, I felt bad to let it sit unwatched and unlistened to. Being able to properly keep up with all that is much less stressful for me. Ha ha, Paul C. So a couple things I want to say about that. One,
you need to chill the fuck out is what you need to do. You're stressing people out.
We've been saying that it's too much content.
But my intention,
it's not consumable.
But my intention has always been to make so much on there that you just start picking and choosing what you're into.
That's not how we're nerds. We don't do
nobody
that.
watches everything that's on Netflix.
People try.
No, they don't. Not in any serious way.
I don't compare. Come with this guy over here, fucking the Netflix
chancellor,
chancellor.
But it was literally my intention to be like, look, like, okay, there's so much shit here. I know there's going to be something here every time I need something, but I don't need to watch, reviews on this NECA turtle line because I'm just not interested in it or whatever. Like I can pass on that. I'm gonna pick up the Silverhawks reviews. I'm gonna pass on the Thundercats reviews. I'm gonna pick up the SH Figuarts reviews or whatever.
As nerds, man, we're not passers, bro. How many lines do you pass on?
I'll be honest.
How many lines do you quit on?
I think that most are. I think that most on there because I can see because
not that they do quit or not. It's the desire to not quit. That's why us 40K fans and Gunpla fans have forever growing backlogs because we intend to do the thing that we will never get to.
Well, I'll tell you, it did. Like, don't feel any kind of way about this, Paul. It's objective. This has nothing to do with you. But it did, like, I think sometimes, like, I'm constantly worried about whether I'm doing enough. Like, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough?
Or are you doing too much? Ask if you're doing too much.
You should join some other Patreons. I pay $10 a month for a Patreon, and I get a sticker in the mail every month and three shows. That's it.
Well, I'll tell you,
I enjoy the content enough that it's wrestling shit.
Like to hear like I backed out because it was too much. It was like it felt, and I know this is not rational. This is how I interpreted the information without talking to Paul C about it. Independent of Paul C at all. It was like, fuck, man. Like, not only are you not doing enough, but you're also making too much where people don't want that either. It's like you can't win.
You can't oversaturate.
You can't win.
And you can't not make it. Yeah, I mean, you can't. Well, in general, you can't please everybody.
No, for sure.
Right.
But I think that, like, there is a lot of thought to how, I don't want to get into a deep dive on it, but like there is a lot of thought to how I approach that shit. Like in terms of like, I try to only put out like one lengthy podcast a week so that you get the time to digest that before I put out the next thing, with the exception of Nerd Rage or, you know what I mean? Back to this question though, backlog. So I got a ton in mind.
No, mine is forever growing, just like everything else in my life. Every other backlog in my life is a backlog to begin with for a reason.
I'm behind on Paper Girls. I'm behind on Deadly Class. I'm behind on Outcast. These are all comics. I'm behind on fuck. Oh, I still haven't watched that Blade Runner shit that I wanted to watch, like the sequel, like something I want to watch. I just haven't really got it.
The
movie,
the second movie.
Yep. Oh, and of course, the creme de la creme, Joe, quiet as kept, but the top of my temple, so to speak, Sandman.
Oh, I thought the top of your temple.
I thought it was gonna be Coruscant 9.
That's what I thought too. See, Chris and I are on the same wavelength.
Mind if I borrow those books and read them again and bring them back?
Please,
no, I'm gonna bring them back.
No, please don't.
Actually, I'm gonna buy you the hardcovers. I'm gonna get the author to autograph. Bobby, please read my book.
That would be great. But yeah, that's.
But you never get to watch Sandman because Netflix quitter.
No, I don't want to watch it. I want to read it.
Oh, okay.
And like the other thing is like I feel anxious about it all the time. I always feel anxious about the shit that I haven't done or seen or whatever. Like and
all my hobbies, bro. Dude, it sucks.
My backlog is opening fucking collectibles because I buy so much that like. And I don't know. I think sometimes I like the idea of them coming more than I actually like them when they get there. Like,
I mean, that's a discussion we've had before where like
maybe
we
should
just want new things.
Maybe we should just start something where we just all mail each other stuff constantly and we never keep it. We just mail it to somebody else just so you know, oh, I got a tracking number.
I mean, I've gotten out of that, thankfully, of just buying shit because I need to buy shit.
Keeping up.
But my plan is always to clear it.
That's why it's a backlog. Right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't put it in a backlog with no intentions, but the real, like, how realistic is it is a question.
Yeah. Billings.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah.
We got another box of Doritos.
We got what?
Another box of Doritos.
I think
it's time. It's my turn. Yeah, we'll take them.
Billings wrote in again and said, "Gent, second question. If I catch you before recording,
ooh, look out, Billings.
Good news and bad news to that. Bobby, how you doing with not eating processed meats? You mentioned reading about that on Wine and Cheese. Ever since I've avoided bacon, pepperoni, salami, etc. So,
sucks to be you.
So I'll tell you what. So I'll tell you what I read was like it was a conversation Laura were having about food and health and culture and shit that like is allowed here is not allowed other places and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I was saying how like a lot of processed meats, if not all of them, I think all of them are considered carcinogens by pretty much the rest of the world. And I was like, man, like that fucks with me. So to answer your question, you've been better at it than I have. I have cut way back. Like I rarely get pepperoni pizza now. Like I usually get cheese.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like I usually get cheese. And there's another reason.
There's other toppings. I'm just saying.
Sausage was also processed.
There's
Correct.
vegetables also. I know
I don't
that's
fuck
not
with that.
like
I know.
onions and
You know,
like
peppers,
onions are fucking
bell
contaminant, man.
peppers.
But hold on 1 second. I'm going to pause it for just a second. But I haven't been perfect. I've definitely I had a fucking BLT last night. But I've become conscious of it. It's now something that I'm picking and choosing. Like, do I want this now? Do I need to do this now, or can I enjoy this and just be as happy?
You know what I've had to eat today? 4 meat lollies. Kelly bought these. They're called Dukes. They're these sausages. They're fucking amazing.
So I'll give you an example. We went to Outback.
Blimey!
Yeah, it's the first time I've been in probably 5 years.
But recently?
Yeah.
And not Texas Roadhouse?
Yeah,
Wow.
so I
That's a
did.
choice.
So I went to Texas Roadhouse recently, this year.
Okay.
And I was not impressed.
Oh, huh.
I don't know if it's changed or whatever, but everything tasted. I think I talked about it here, but everything tasted salty as fuck. Like to a point where it was too much. It was like,
It could be the chef that day.
yeah,
It could be, or it could be that you guys have just changed your diet where you don't use
be.
those. You eat fast. Eat out.
But Outback was fine though, right?
So here's the thing about Outback. Haven't been in forever. It was the best goddamn fucking Outback experience I've had, I think, in this millennium.
Yeah. Wow.
Like,
I like Outback a good bit.
So
I really do.
I used to, but then I felt like the wheels fell off the wagon there for a bit. But like whatever, we went in Virginia. Maybe it's a Virginia thing. That shit was fucking slamming. But ordered the cheese fries, which I'm a huge fan of, as everybody knows.
Yes.
Yep.
And obviously not healthy, right? So I'm not. It's not like I'm eating healthy. But I was like, you can hold the bacon.
Hey, me, you, and Phil.
Hold the bacon.
Hey, me, you, and
Just
Phil went to Outback
something hard
after
for
the
me to
movies
say.
one night.
We did. Hold on a second. But here's the thing. This is to paint a picture of how I'm moving, right? So like I had a BLT last night. I really enjoy a BLT, and I stacked that motherfucker full of bacon.
So what do you put on that?
Bacon, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise.
I mean, that's BLT,
So you
right?
eat the vegetables.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
That was the
Well,
surprise.
so
Otherwise
it's
it's
only
just
lettuce.
I thought this motherfucker was having a bacon sandwich over here.
Just bacon and mayonnaise. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like and some of those motherfuckers put egg on it and all that shit. I don't fuck around.
No,
with that.
it's BLT.
I'm with
I mean,
you.
I don't eat that. I
Three
hate tomatoes, but
But
words have meanings.
So I agree. So I make them say BLTCE because they put cheese on it too. So anyway, I ate bacon there, obviously. But like with these cheese fries, I'm not eating healthy, right? It's not a matter of eating healthy. I'm eating like fucking probably one of the most unhealthy things on the planet. But that being said, I was like, man, does the bacon enhance my personal experience of these cheese fries? And the truth is, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it enhances my BLT. It enhances my turkey club. It enhances my cheese and egg sandwich. You know what I mean? Like a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't really. What I love about the cheese fries is the cheese, the fries, and the ranch. So like
Not the ketchup, by not
ketchup.
That's, you got to save that for the steak.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Order ketchup, but leave it.
You don't want to use it all now, Joe.
But am I remembering that right? Was it?
Yes, you mean
It's
Phil
since the
before?
pan-
I think it was after a movie.
Yeah, over there on. Okay,
Off 40,
just trying to remember that.
and you treated us. If I do,
Wow. Just left and right. I mean,
right.
like I said, if you have money to pay YouTube
I know.
for the ads, you have money to fucking treat Outback.
So I
those
also
are
I used
hand
to
in
put
hand.
a slice of salami like on my I used to have a turkey salami sandwich pretty often, and now I usually don't. Now I usually have chicken or fish and shrimp. Like where I used to eat this, you know what I mean? So a little changes, just like
Good on you.
Yeah, and it's not like trust me, I am not the pillar of health. I'm just like, man, can I edge my bets?
Exactly.
That's it.
Oh, that's good. Dorito delivery.
Oh, Dorito delivery.
That's
Thank you.
Thank you. Krista has entered the
Massive
building.
snack attack.
the person in which to find you if you want to find me.
Yeah,
That's right.
Except Joey's streaming now.
yeah. We've been letting the world know.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to put another bad quality picture.
Damn,
What's your-
shitting on your quality.
Hey, it's
Yours
your-
is much
hey,
more
it's-
enticing.
It's
Yours
your
is much more-
picture.
it's much more enticing for people to look at you than look at me.
I guess.
Vex Supreme. Next one says, "What's going on, Nerd Ragers? Thank you guys."
A dog? I don't know what the dog is.
Upstairs in the crate, or maybe it's Jana. Is Jana home yet? Oh, okay.
She's very skittish.
Thank you guys. What's going on, Nerd Ragers? Thank you guys for always providing all the jokes and life anxiety issues. Love to hear it, and all the other crazy shenanigans that go on the show. I always look forward to listening to the next episode. Quick question: has there ever been a video that you saw that made you feel some type of way? Sad, mad, disappointed, happy, proud? Thank you guys for all that you do. Keep up. Peace. D. Robles. So many people can't pronounce my name. I was gonna go Robles, but it's, Star Wars updated Darth Vader. It's about a 10-minute video. So he did send a link to that. which is like he says, is there, he sent a link to this video. It's like somebody put together this fan made thing of like the history of Vader, Anakin through whatever, and it was good. I did watch it. I mean, I guess he's talking about.
I like the before episode 8 came out, the lightsaber one was pretty good.
Yeah, that one. There's a
just for him to throw it away.
yeah, there's a bunch of those saga trailers and shit that like I love that make me feel a type of way. Like I don't know about videos in particular. I think that mainly when I think of videos making me feel a way, it's me getting pissed off about the reaction from people in the comments. Like, but I think that's a different experience than what he's talking about. I don't know if I necessarily, because I don't really watch that type of stuff. Like the stuff that I usually watch, like on YouTube, like is usually interviews and documentaries and stuff like that. Like 9 times out of 10.
Is he asking if like an opinion piece has made you mad? Is that?
No, not mad, I guess, but we're mad.
Feeling anyway about it.
Yeah.
Nothing comes to mind for me.
I mean, I purposefully usually like skip those. Or like I purposely don't let myself feel away about things like that on the internet.
There is one I will tell you, just a recommendation. There's a one out there called Ahsoka. I think it's an Ahsoka one. It's a montage all about Ahsoka, but it's called "He Was My Master," and it's like the music.
Oh
dude,
that one.
Like,
yeah,
dude, that one fucks me up.
There's
talking about things that fuck you up,
and getting my head in the right space now. I don't know exactly which video that is he has, but there is one that's like, the fall of Vader, fall of Anakin, basically the rise of Vader. That is very like tugs on the heartstrings a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm usually here for it, especially so much of that for me is dependent upon the music. The music makes or breaks that for me to kind of hit me in my feels. And I mean, that's it. It's a 2-hour show, ladies and gents.
Boom.
See, we always find shit to talk about. It doesn't matter if it's been a day or a fucking week.
It's true.
I'm surprised we got that much out of 3 days, but hey,
yeah,
that's how we do. Hey, if they have questions, Bobby, where can they send those?
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
That last part is every time. And then
it's different.
Yeah, I was going to talk about shout outs real quick. First of all, shout out to the Cool Table. If you listen to this, as far as I'm concerned, you're part of the Cool Table too. And shout out to the people that help behind the scenes. We have Dante on Facebook, and we have Raul on Instagram, and we have Phil the Velocithirster on Twitter.
And our notes.
And our notes.
As occasionally as we
so, oh my god, dude, this is the worst one ever.
Oh,
really?
It's the worst one.
It can get worse.
It's the worst one.
All right, lay it out.
So the is at Lisa Mancini.
Okay, I know.
This is a picture of her. She's calling herself Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
But it's
call herself whatever she wants.
But it's just squirrel ears with the squirrel underwear, which is actually a bit strange, to be honest. No disrespect.
Oh boy, I can't wait for this.
If you want my review of this, it's not great. She says, "Just a squirrel trying to get a nut." Hashtag Squirrel Girl. Hashtag lingerie.
Hold on, but before you say anything,
his response:
the thirst trap she's setting is led to all sorts of. I'm sure he's not the only one here, but let's see what we got.
There's 32 comments on this shit. His response: "There are a lot of nuts that would love to be handled by this squirrel."
Oh my god, young Philip!
What?
It's the best one.
Oh god!
Oh my goodness!
It's the best one.
I can't tell if these things are worse or pinker than dad jokes are worse. I'm not sure. Why am I here?
What if we combine them?
What are we doing here?
What if we combine them and make dad jokes
that are
the velocity
thirsts or whatever?
Well, they're kind of
thirst trap. You don't
thirst trap. Sorry.
And old man Bobby don't know what fucking thirst trap is.
And Ricky making her videos.
Yes, and Ricky Tiki Timber on the videos.
Is this you motherfucker with Chardon and this is the content you?
That's what they want, man.
This is what people
We're
want.
here to
This is
serve
what
the
the people
people.
want.
Denmark loves this shit.
Yeah, Finland. Who apparently the Finnish speak better English than we do. I got that.
Americans are terrible at English. What are you talking about?
I'm ready for the tour, guys.
Dude,
I'm ready.
Can you imagine a world tour?
No, Richard. We have to bring this whole ass table. We set up on stage and we just do this in front of a live audience.
We'll make a new table.
This is authentic.
I
This
am
is
the
OG.
I am the
You
table.
are-
I am the table.
I am the sin-
Just
Dude,
like
have you seen? Speaking
Borat.
of which, have you seen all the Kanye drama recently with his kids going to school and all that?
No.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Poor kids. Or not.
yeah.
I don't know. Hard to say. Money doesn't fix everything.
Let me see if I
Look at Batman. It didn't fuck. Money doesn't fix everything.
Just because he's so he's so much, so to speak.
He's a lot.
I'm just gonna see if I can pull it up real quick, and he's deleted most of it per usual. But like
Post night clarity.
I don't know.
Like he
But he's been beefing with his baby mama and her mama as usual.
always train wrecks. Fucking
So I think that's that. I'm also this has already come out by then, so it's not even worth talking about. But I'm super excited about the sit down Saturday this week. It's like been something I've been molding and shaping for a couple months now, and
I'm excited to watch it. I saw you.
think I did a good job of explaining it, but maybe not. We'll see. With that,
flapping labius.
Tasty taint.
tight dick player.